challenger. Mine wins. Here comes a new challenger. Challenger.
史上最多の12チームが参戦し、新ルール2ディビジョン制が導入された2024年シーズン。長きにわたる激闘も本日ついに終止符が打たれる。ディビジョン S 代表、ウッドエイトスクワット、対するディビジョン F 代表、ヨギボーリジェクト。日本最強チームの座をかけて、両チームが相まみえる、ストリートファイターリーグプロ JP2024 グランドファイナル、開幕。
Titanic teams are about to go blow to blow, toe to toe, and when the dust settles, we will have our champion team to represent the land of Japan. My name is St. Cola. This is Vicious. Man, let's get into this. Grand Finals for Street Fighter League Japan 2024 starts now, and I cannot wait. My brother, how are you feeling?
I got shivers down my spine. I felt as if hair were actually growing on my head just watching that trailer to get us here to the Grand Finals. I was like ecstatic before, but now I've got the electricity going through my body just watching this all come together finally after one of the most intense bouts of the year. The entirety of Street Fighter League Japan now at its culmination.
It's been a long journey, regulation play. The playoffs were maybe blowouts in some ways, but for these players to get to this point, being one of those contentious, hardest seasons thus far, I feel, with the skill level rising, the meta changing in between, for them to stay solid, is something significant. And it's led to some of the best Street Fighter I have seen thus far. So the greatest moments in 6 already, but now it ends. And there's a part of me that's super sad, as I say it during the playoffs, I'll say it here, to see it all end, man. It's just a little depressing.
I feel like it's just a little bit of a pause before we get into the actual big dance, right? I'm more excited to see who comes out on top to face off against the other champions of Street Fighter League around the world, right? This is only another step forward towards the ultimate goal of not only being champions, but also being invited back onto the stage for Capcom Cup, as we talked about what the winner gets for Capcom Cup for the Street Fighter League World Championships. But we're talking about right here, right now, and what's down the line and what's at stake, which we will get into a little bit later on. Obviously, we have our very esteemed commentators. We got Frida, we got Aru, we got Hamiko as well. Before we get into all the nitty-gritty, in terms of the gameplay, let's talk about what's happening right now. This is the grand finals between the two titans, Good 8 Squad, as well as Yogibo Reject. Now, when we talk about the specific grand final rules, the battle format itself will be the same, as both teams will face off against each other with 3 sets of matches, with the first 2 sets of games being 2 out of 3, worth 10 points each set. Now, the anchor match, of course, that one will be 3 out of 5, being worth 20 points. The main takeaway here in the grand finals, however, is that it's a race to 90 points, right? Both teams will be switching positions until that goal has been met, and that will take place after every single anchor match. So with that in mind, you could see what's going to be happening right now for the grand finals in regards to who will be fighting first on the home side. We talked about it a little bit earlier from Hameko's choice. The fact that Yogibo Reject was the more dominant team throughout the season, they netted 305 points in comparison to Good 8 Squad's 245 in their own respective divisions. They are allowed the big home field advantage, at least in the first couple of sets, as we get into the entirety of our big dance. So again, We've established all of that. We've got everything ready. We've talked about our predictions in regards to who's going to face off against who. But we do have a couple of surprises in regards to what the away squad is going to be looking like for the team of Good 8 Squad. We kind of hinted at it. It actually came to fruition, but with a little bit of a twist. Now, I have to keep it a teaser. I don't want to ruin it just yet. But St. Cola, with the breakdown of the rules and everything on the line, what right now are your predictions in like totality of it all? Like in regards to whether or not it would be a blowout, if it'd be a close race. You don't have to even say who you think is going to win. I just want to know like how back and forth you think it's going to be today.
I feel like it's going to be very back and forth considering the squads that we have. Obviously, Yogibo Reject has Akira, which is a big pain point for Good 8 Squad unless they have a character to fight that Cammy off. However, with these teams getting here, the amount of points that they have amassed, watching them grow and prepare and prep, I feel like we're going to get some close sets. I won't say what team I think is going to win, but I think it'll be a lot closer than what we saw in the playoffs. I do think that we're going to see a lot more matches here. I think y'all should get ready for a very long day of Street Fighter play. Regardless, it'll be like that, as you mentioned, 90 points in totality. That's 21 points that we had in the regulation. But I do think that we're going to have a lot of long sets and going to the distance and the limit. Either way, it's going to be an endurance test, as we've seen every time in the season. It's not just about what you send up first, but what you send up after. And there's no motion up on the screen. I love seeing the support from Japan, all the people out there. No motion, Frida, Hamiko, Aru, and all the people in the stands. That place is packed to the brim with people. I think Mina's also out there as well as they take a walk around. I see the booths, some of the teams selling their merch too.
Yeah, this is all the official merch that is been showed off throughout the entirety of the year. I feel like with some of the newer things that came out from watching some of these streams with Street Fighter League, you obviously have the entirety of the Capcom catalog available to you. They even have like the Monster Hunter World stuff, which is pretty neat. Some of the new, I mean, we're expecting a big Monster Hunter launch regardless, right? It's going to be coming up real soon, but we do have those extras as well. I see that No Motion already highlighting the snacks. I like that. I would love to be there and kind of enjoy those snacks, but we're here instead, and that's just as fine. That's okay. But it's always fun to see like some of the expos highlight some of like the Capcom and Street Fighter merch specifically, because they're really finely made as well. But this is going to be so cool. What the heck is this wall? This is actually kind of sick. Oh,
is this where people pick their characters? Yeah. Representation?
That's what it looks like.
Oh,
it's like
no Ed players,
maybe
really.
like popular characters. A lot of Terry.
Look at
a lot of
Rashid's
Terry
face.
representation.
True. Not a lot of kids.
Oh, they're chocolates.
Put that back up. Oh. I wonder if they're taking the chocolate away or you're putting the chocolate up to represent your character.
I would take it away, brother. I'd be like, you know what? Less representation in regards to certain characters. I'll take that. Like, maybe I think it would have to be like specifically designed chocolate, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Unless I'm tripping.
Oh, that's so cool. Of course, they've got coin machines, it looks like, too, as well. Oh, man. Okay, next year, I'd love to be there. Obviously, we'll be there for Capcom Cup, but this is so cool to have all these different things. So you're not just watching the event or you get ready for the event. You can, like, interact with all the various things with Street Fighter 6. Like, I don't know what half this stuff is, but it looks so cool. Teo Holdings, shout out to them, always supporting Street Fighter League. We saw them, you know, on stage previously at Capcom Cup last year. We said they're out here again supporting. And this place it's just so packed.
No way!
What is this?
The desk mat. Yep.
This has been what for a long time, right?
I know you guys can hear me back there. I 100% need someone to secure this for me, and I will give you the money when I arrive in Japan. Because I need that desk mat. That is the coolest desk mat ever, and I 100% need it. And I feel like for those that are listening to the broadcast right now, it may be a little bit too late. But if you could snag it for yourself, I highly recommend it, because it is like, it's the exclusive artwork from Street Fighter League Japan. But these are sick too, man. There's so many different peripherals up on display. Obviously, we've had a very big eruption in regards to like the playability on other peripherals and seeing other people kind of like finding their niche or finding their groove with those peripherals, and it's been a really lovely time to see how far we've developed in regards to execution and comfort for a lot of the players out there too. But even for the casual audience, on the cuter side, right? They have socks. They have like Judy socks, Cammy socks. They have to have like my socks now. But this is cute.
Of course.
I like this.
Listen, bag. Like, I don't even play the character, but I want it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want it. Just looks so cool. Novelty fair. All right. Is it too much to ask to get like one thing set aside per booth, just for when we come through in a couple weeks, just like 1 or 2? We'll pay you. We'll give you the money. You can pick it at random. I'll take anything at this point. So jealous.
Yeah, I think I would need that bag to like put stuff in, to be honest with you. I think that tote bag looks pretty cool. But yeah, I think there's been a pretty decent availability of like some of these products over at like the official Capcom stores. I know like Shibuya Parko has it, like the big department store that has the Capcom store in it. There have been like a slow release of like newer products little by little, but also speaking of newer products coming out, obviously we got the official release date for the Capcom Fighting Collection, including CVS 2, Alpha 3, or I guess 03 Upper, even like the Power Stone games, and I think Star Gladiator too. But the Rival Schools franchise is what I wanted to try out because I never got to as a kid. Like, and they always had it at Arcade Infinity, but I never was able to play it because I didn't know how to play it, obviously. So I wasn't gonna waste my quarters when I could play Street Fighter 4. But this is a really big important time to kind of like check it out for yourself, kind of re-indulge in some of the classics that you might have missed. I think CVS 2 is going to be on everybody's minds, and it's going to be like one of the hottest things too. I mean, that's what happened with Marvel 2 as well. So I'm really looking forward to facing everybody off in CVS 2 for sure.
I'm looking forward to playing that game because I never really played it in a serious manner. So looking forward to playing with people that maybe are also new like me and not just get bought by people who are old heads with that game. But let's go back to Street Fighter 6, man. Again, it's been an insane season. We have 2 teams, Yogi Reject, Good 8 Squad, that are waiting in the wings, ready to fight and face off. And with a variety of characters too as well. You know, we're not gonna spoil what's gonna go on with some of these cats, but we've seen them have some counter picks here and there. We've seen them also, both teams also have like the Secret Sim on their side of things. And it's all came down to this grand finals. We had month after month, week after week of Street Fighter 6 play in terms of regulation. We see them also play out in the outside of things, the singles, in the CPT events, the World Warrior events. I think all that leads to here, to League. Even though it's like a singles type of thing, at least to the team event, for them gathering data from around the world or their experiences, it all kind of boils down to this. And it's such a serious thing for all these players. You talk to them, they're like, the reverence for Street Fighter League Japan is just so high for them. This, to them, is just as important as winning a Capcom Cup.
I would definitely agree with that. I think I've had a good amount of experience being able to talk to some of the players out there and ask them like how much of the weight is really on their shoulders in regards to trying to play out the season. And I've had that exposure over at like Tokyo Game Show, over at like Evo Japan prior, to kind of like ask them like how they're prepping, etc. They very much so take this to the nth degree. They would take it like in a very serious manner and very serious tone, especially with what it leads to now. I feel like with the introduction of new paths into Capcom Cup, it's really heightened the amount of competition now in Street Fighter League. So with that in mind too, that's going to be a very considerable deal for a lot of the players, not even just in Japan, but for Street Fighter League US, Street Fighter League EU as well. And there's even, you know, the prize money to be considered, right? That's a pretty decent amount of compensation for all of your time being spent in the lab and being spent throughout the season, etc. So I'm really glad that the sponsors over at Taiyo Holdings have been holding it down for so long. As you can see it, the $8 million yen prize pool, with first place taking the big lion's share of 5 million yen, second place with 2 million, and third with 1 million in their pocket, divvied up amongst the teammates. And now, we've also talked about some of the awards they've been giving out on an individual level. We still have to give away the MVP award of the entirety of the season, which will be established shortly after.
Man, it'd be so hard to pick an MVP. There's so many standout players, some that didn't even make it this far. I guess my personal one would be Lashar at this point, in terms of how dominant he has been and how much he has been showing out. He's already won so many awards. I think the most awards have been won by Reject at this point. But just how much work he's done to be new to this season, and then how he's played off in the playoffs and kind of solidifying their spot, taking down Seoul with that final game, and having a character that's been quote-unquote nerfed in a drastic way. He's been able to stay solid. I don't know. I feel like for me, he might be MVP, but there's too many people I would put MVP. I don't know the criteria. I'm sure they have a panel for that. But what would you think?
So it really depends. So I think what's out the window already is this is the stats from regulation season. I think we've already awarded who was like the top dog for both Division S, Division F. I would imagine whoever happens to have the best win record for the entirety of playoffs today, depending on like how many games they played as well, that would pretty much determine who would receive the MVP, in my opinion. So I would say if I were to blindly pick without like anticipation of what's happening today or like what's going to be played out today, just based off of prior performance, I think your potential nominees would have to be amongst obviously Tokido, Lashar, Gachikun, and Kawano. If I were to predict the top four, actually, I would replace Kawano with Pugera because of some of his big clutch moments too. But those would be my top four in regards to nominations.
I agree. I think those would be like top four for me as well. If I had to pick one, it has to be Lashar, but any of those top four could definitely make that rotation. We'll have to see what changes today in terms of like that grand finals play. There's a lot to consider. There's a lot of games that I have to go through and a lot of moments I'm sure we're going to be witnessing, considering it's going to be a very long amount of sets. 90 points. 20 points more we had in regulation play. And considering what's on the line, the weight of possibly getting another step towards qualifying further into like another Capcom Cup being already solidified, I don't have to worry about that, is a big deal. So with all that weight, all that mental stack, all that, I don't want to say fear, but pressure put on you, you know, every match, first to two or first to three, is going to be like absolute, maybe like a first to 50 in terms of how much you're sweating and endurance, you know, how much energy you're outputting, I should be saying. So I feel like, you know, going back to what we were saying early, I feel like this is going to be a pretty even thing. We get some of the awards going back and forth. We're going to talk about, again, the MVP at the end of everything after grand finals happen. So we'll get to that. But I just can't wait to see the bout. I just can't wait to see the hands be flying, bro.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said in regards to like the specific rule of the race to 90 points. We've talked about how they perform on a normal basis where it's just 3 team battles, or I guess three different team battles, yeah, in one set, or 3 different sets in one team battle, question mark? Either way you spin it, but 3 sets within a team battle. And it gets a little bit harder to tell what the strategy should be, or at least how the gameplay is going to look like in regards to like who plays off against who, because you're downloading that information with even more matches, right? By default, you're already looking at 2 whole rotations of the away team going to the home team and then going back to the away team, just because of how many games we're going to be playing, right? So it does get me excited to watch it, but more so nervous for those that have already had their determined game plan, right? I want to know like which game plans stick out and actually do the most damage, and I want to see on the other side, I want to see which game plans just fall flat on their face, which forces the team that have constructed said strategy to adjust, right? Those are going to be like the big heightened pinpoints of action that are going to be experienced potentially here in a grand finals setting.
I'm trying to see, like, are they going to rely upon Akinu, the secondary account, or whatever it may be? But regardless, it comes down to this, and I'm with you, man. I want to see what happens to like the strategies that work, the ones that don't, and on what happens on both sides. On the away side, you really prepped and prepared. You were during the playoffs, you were during the regulation play, but this is different. So we're going to get right into it. Look at No Motion starting things off. By the way, I love their costumes. They're amazing.
I'm glad they're staying consistent too. Like they're picking the same costumes that they have been wearing for like, I think the entirety of numerous CPT broadcasts, if I'm not mistaken. It's always been like the Honda pick. It's always been the Ken pick. And I hope like they play those exact characters as well. But we are getting the deep dive in preparation. Damn, dude. Gachikun is big chilling. Legs crossed, lean back a little bit. Kawano with the arms crossed. Pugera looking a little slightly nervous. YSC Mochi, I feel like he might be the most nervous one here, but I can't tell. Now Gachikun, he might be feeling it a little bit. As soon as he cracks that smile, you know there's something. You know there's something going on in his mental. Look at that, bro. Zooming in on the captain, pretty much well deserved, man. He's been such a sturdy force, not even just for a good 8 squad as their captain, but also a centrifugal force for like Rashid players all over.
100%. And again, you had, as you mentioned, Kawano, Waishimochi, Pugera in the back. Beyond that, you know, despite the nerves, like, these guys are absolute champions. Whether it be legends in the game, been playing longer for most people who have been playing, whether it be Evo champions, Capcom Cup champions, top 8 places at minimum. I mean, these guys are killers. Don't be mistaken by their features and what they're showing right now. Nerves are only a power up to them at this point. So we're also getting a look at Yogi Bo Reject, but it's cool to see that the rise of Good 8 Squad is different than what we had last season. As we mentioned during Hamiko's Choice, we see them, Good 8 Squad, with the characters that they have been wanting. But now, new in name, but not by battle, besides Lashar, of course. And even then, he's been playing like he's been here for a long time. He's no tourist. He's not new to this at all, the way he's been playing. Yogi Bo Reject. Let's take a look at them and how nervous they are. Discussing strategies, it looks like. Wiping on the hands. I'm guessing they're warmers. That man is in prayer. He is actually a monk, bro. He is actually. Please let all my drive impacts hit. Please, God.
What a beast. Staying true to the character, too, man. And they're showing off the brand. These guys are professionals. Yeah. When it comes to, like, I want to specify, this is, in my opinion, like, artificial tech, right?
Okay.
Having all the extra things that are needed to, like, completely focus for your gameplay is very interesting. I think Tokido obviously has been one of the pioneers for that. I remember everybody and their moms probably remembers this. The tape measuring tool, the tape measuring tech that he had between himself and the monitor. I thought that was very funny. And now he's got like the hand warmers. He's got like, he used to do like the jog in place a bunch. Obviously, I think there are like benefits to it, but I feel like he's the only one really showing off some of these practices. And it makes it kind of interesting to see like how he's making the rest of the team kind of like follow suit, right?
Yeah, kind of showing their personality throughout the way they get prepped and prepared. And some players do this, maybe not in the open or right before a match, before they sit down. But it's cool to see that energy and cool to see them have that kind of personality. But again, these are going to be killers. You know, we talk about Tokido, how he's been able to assess, you know, all those things that people think are kind of funny are necessary for him to get into the mood of murder. You know, that's the man's a murder face for a reason. So yeah, he might be able to stretch that out, but like it's on purpose to make sure everything is primed and proper for him to compete and whatever it takes at this point to take that W. So I like the Tormeshi also following suit. And look at the fans, man. Those stands are filled out. Like I said, Minardi, Louis Man, and Kaba are out there, I believe, practicing and prepping. And just, it's cool to see that spread. And that shows love to people that maybe don't know anything about Street Fighter or fighting games to get them in as well. But it looks like we're about to start real soon here. Good 8 Squad, Yogi Bo Reject is our grand finals that we have today. I can't wait to see that play, because today we will crown a champion to move on.
God, Aru's voice when it comes to the intro, it still is so electrifying. This guy, hearing his voice like echo through the halls, insane. So now that we got our intros and all of our the rest of our details already kind of like explained now, let's get into the full intros of the teams, right? We got Good 8 Squad stepping up to the plate, starting things off with Shimane Monk. We got YHC Mochi with that prestige Dalcy. He has been one of the cats to really set the tone with this character in every iteration. I do mean this, every iteration of Street Fighter. He has been the Dalsim icon for a lot of the players that have been in the know for Street Fighter. Seeing him walk down is so surreal, by the way. We don't necessarily get to see him in a very big like CPT standing. So seeing him being able to walk down the aisle and perform at his utmost capacity in this kind of like stage and arena it comes full circle, I feel like, for someone who's worked that hard for so long. And speaking of, one of the hardest workers in my opinion, the Cosmic Buster, that is Hugera! He has traveled all over the world for so long, even before Senkola and myself even got into the scene. Like I was back in 2000, I want to say like 5. Hugera has already been here, bro. He's already been in the dominating force that he has been right now. Like he is thoroughly a fighting game veteran. You're about to see exactly why today. Not only does he have the chops to pick up any character he wants to, but he knows how to analyze a lot of the more broken stuff, a lot of the more like higher tier stuff, and take it as his own to full advantage, whatever need be. I think he's one of the few that can excel with identifying the meta and taking it all the way against the rest of the competition. Now, this man truly is the singularity, no matter how you spin it, no matter what the definition may be. This is Kawano, who has had such a stellar growth since his inception into Street Fighter V under the tutelage of many players, especially Daigo the Beast Umehara. He was part of Umehara Gold at the very, very beginning of Street Fighter V and has evolved into one of the biggest threats the world has ever known in the world of Street Fighter VI. And I am thoroughly impressed with his overall work ethic and also his taste in restaurants, man. This guy's a big yakiniku fan. He knows how to drink as well. He knows how to have a good time. I love seeing his personality shine little by little. But more importantly, I love seeing his gameplay evolve. Last but not least, the Captain, El Capitan, the honest, and I put emphasis on the honest hero, Gachi-kun. He has been driven. He has been Capcom Cup champion. He has been consistent in so many variations of Street Fighter League, and he has been a loyalist to not only Rashid, but his family as well, man. This guy is truly the family man that we all love and appreciate. But not only that, I think his work ethic is damn near top tier. Like, just listening and watching his progress over on his streams, you already know that what you watch is what you're getting from Gachi-kun, and what you can expect from him will always be top tier, always going to be like top level competition.
That's like today's squad. This squad did not make the results they wanted in the previous season. They did not get to the second part of that season, but now here, throughout the grand finals, amazing. They stand ready to face their opponents. Yogi-Bo Reject, as you mentioned, very dominant outside the league, inside the league. Man, just chills. But now, it's time for Yogi-Bo Reject again. New in name, but not by combat in the very least. And even though Lashar is a new addition out here, he's playing like he has been here since the beginning, since the lights were turned on. You have absolute demons in this team and a very secret weapon as well with that Cammy. We'll see how this occurs and what it goes down to, what it breaks down to with these players. Yogi-Bo Reject. Start off, Korea golden figure himself, Lashar. And from Korea, swinging all the way over to the land, Japan, to be one of the most dominant players in Street Fighter VI. I've talked to so many players and like, I don't want to face this guy because he is just too clean and pristine. He's mechanical, but he knows how to break down every opponent with that edge and still sticking with that character, showcasing what that character can really do. As people put him to the side, he has found strengths and has found massive success, ending out the playoffs, at least for his team, and defeating Shuto from Seoul and solidifying their spot right here. What a thing to say that this dude came from Korea to live here in Japan, learn the language as well, and be a standout part of not only his team, but Street Fighter League Japan in his very first season. But we cannot, of course, forget about the High Priest himself, praying the skies in the hands of the man, Tora Meshi, with that secret weapon Sim. Now, it's kind of wild to say that Sim could be a secret weapon, but it might be a good counter pick, or it is actually a good counter pick against Ed, as we have seen throughout the league, and some other characters too as well. How flighty he is, he's hard to pin down, hard to catch his backdashes, he has a lot of tech to connect. This guy is a sim master through and through, different style you see from Waximochi, but definitely a very good addition to this team, not only by character, but by player as well. Just definitely happy to see him evolve that character that many people don't play as much and showcase that Sim does have quite a few strengths, especially when you get like hyper focus on like a home side and be once again a counter pick to many characters that people don't expect. After that, we're gonna be having the lightning fast speed star himself, quick-witted is Akira on the Cammy. And this man used to be hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold. You didn't know which Akira you would get on the day. But these days, he's always on. He's on fire, I feel, with that cameo. Look, he wears his heart on his sleeve. He's very much about the fans. Slap fans, I love that. But this guy, despite that friendly smile, will just take you apart with the dive kicks from the aerial approach, and he will never let off the gas. Once he gets in, he'll stay in with the cameo. And he is definitely a showman through and through. Look at that. I don't think I've seen a person slap the hands as much, hit the high fives as much as him. He just loves being here and loves playing the game. Very emotional, but for a good reason though. He's still doing it. I love it. Yo, he's just a homie. Look at that. I'm gonna make sure to get everybody. Left side, right side too as well. Last but definitely not least, the FGC scout. But you know what? The FGC genius himself, Tokido, the absolute god of fighting games, in my opinion. This guy has found his way with that Ken play and has been able to dissect people like the doctor that he is, the dissector, as he takes away your drive gauge, your health, your options that you can do, and just eliminates you on that player-to-player basis. Now, that's a fighting game thing overall, but his player-to-player aspect is just his highest point, in my opinion, and it works out so well in this game for him to be a more consistent player. After the start that he didn't have, with him burning out so often, he has made that to not be a thing for him at all. He has changed his game plan, has found success with Ken, quote-unquote, the weakest Shoto. I don't know about that. I don't think he's really the weakest Shoto. He's still playing him as not the weakest Shoto. But it's really about the pilot out here, and this pilot is ridiculous with the Ken. Qualified for that CPT finale. This Rogibo Recheck team is insane in terms of talent, characters, and it's going to provide a very good match against Good 8 Squad.
God, I still get chills just like watching these guys on the big stage, and I'm sure they do too. But seeing also like Tokido walk down, also be like the stern-faced murder face that he usually is, it's so cool, man. Like I would think about Legacy more often than not in regards to like how things change in the realm of Street Fighter anytime like a new one shows up, or like a balance patch happens, or like a new, I want to say like an expansion of Street Fighter comes out. I always think about like who would stick through it and still be successful. When it comes to like consistency, Tokido he has to be named as like #1, right? He always finds a way to make it past the competition and cement himself as one of the best. But this is going to be his biggest challenge yet, right? With his team, they are on the home side. They face off against the current roster and placement of Kawano, Gachikud, and Pugera. Now, we've had our predictions going into it with Hameko's choice. Some of it actually came true. Gachikud, 1, not being on the anchor spot. 2, Pugera possibly switching characters. This is a pretty significant deal, especially being targeted by the home team.
Wow, DJ of all things. Thought maybe the jury might come out to play. I don't think I've seen DJ from him in a long time, at least in this big sort of fashion. But he did play that character previously. Is it up to stuff for the finals? We'll have to see. That's a switch up. But in terms of who goes up, I guess that denies the Cammy approach, does it not? I feel like for a lot of Cammy players, they decided that matchup to be not super fun in the last season. This season, we don't see that much DJ, but still a very powerful character. I feel like on paper, they're really only the big...
be like the big highlight for all of us here, watching what Pugera does with DJ, but we obviously have to go through the first couple of rounds, right? Kawano with Akuma, I think is such a strong way to start. I can't imagine who you would send up first. I don't want Lashar to be the starter. I think it'd have to be Tokido.
I agree with that, but I want Tokido at the very end, though, I feel. If someone's going to have DJ practice, either Lashar or Tokido in terms of, like, traveling overall, it's going to be Tokido, though. So maybe Lashar goes at the very end, even though that matchup's not that fun for Ed. I think it's maybe even what's annoying on both sides. We'll get to that a little bit later on. But you're right. I think maybe Lashar going first is a little bit too much. Send out Tokido. I feel like he's always warm at all points. First or two for him has been a big thing. And against Kawano, they both wanted to play against each other when we saw Hameko's choice. Like that was a choice that I feel like they were sitting out, or to point out, I mean. But Kawano does have some good practice against the Ken pick. We saw how he did against Nauman. The first game was to Nauman, but the other two after that were clean by the side of Kawano. Now, the matchup got a little bit different. Fireballs are easy to counter. You can run DP those a bit easier. But the neutral remains in favor of Akuma, in my opinion. We're getting the interview here from Kawano, getting some words. I'm curious to see what his words are to Tokido. He's curious about the matchup. I hear some cheers, so it looks like it was a little bit on the short side.
He was definitely sounding confused.
Yeah, he's like, wait,
I will admit. Kawano was just like, I guess I'll do my best.
大切な先鋒戦なんで、ここで勝ってチームの勢いをつけたいと思います。よろしくお願いします。
Oh, so we do have a bit of a translation now coming in from the side of Kawano. He was a little bit confused. He was like, yeah, I did what I have to do, and now I'm here, and I'll take him down.
What else can you do? You know, again, I think the positioning, they probably didn't expect Tokido to come early. Maybe they expected him to come at the end to fight the DJ pick from Kugera. Tokido says it's the important first game of this grand finals, and he's definitely right. You want to have the tone set with that aggression. You want to have that tone set with some points in them, and feel like you're on the back foot, even though it's a few points, because those things add up. You want to have that mental weight off you as much as possible. Every point matters out here at the grand finale. You don't want to have to give up games or send out things or test picks. We saw how bad that was with Kawano, and that wasn't really just him giving up games. It was him making a desperate pick in Street Fighter V with that Vega pick. But now he's found a character, so I don't think it'll happen as much. But again, every match matters, every point matters. So this is going to be the tone setter, I do believe.
I'm trying to look at the overall record that Tokido has against Akumas in general. He has a 100% win record, 2 wins, 2 games. I know one of them was up against Jazzy, if I'm not mistaken, in the very, very first week. But I feel like a lot has changed since then. I don't think in regards to...
kind of piece him up in the corner when you get there, as you do everybody as Ken, and you get that extension, like you get any sort of conversion into the corner, I should say, excuse me. I feel like Ken doesn't have the roughest time against Akuma. Ken's a very weird character. On paper, I feel like you see some matchups, you're like, maybe he doesn't do that well. But the fact that his win condition is so easy compared to other characters, get somebody in the corner with any interaction, it could happen. It could kick. It could also defeat someone like Kawano. But this is grand finals, people. I'm gonna let Aru do his thing.
God bless. Here we go. Game 1, baby. We got Good 8 Squad versus Yogibo Reject. Kawano versus Tokido. Starting things out with that light kick that you love to highlight over and over again. Kawano striking first. Now, one of the biggest things that I do love about his Akuma mission, right? He's like a protection dog, right? Once he bites down, he won't let go, right? He's got what it takes to compete with the finest, right? To constantly put people under pressure. You get this punish counter, gets the drive rush forward, and a very important tech from the side of Tokido. One of the biggest things we're looking for is how Tokido finds his way towards mid-screen and also establishes his own offense.
Yeah,
forward exposure!
It's happening right here for the Akuma. Dash up throw, this is where Akuma can really cook. So many buttons you can work with. OD Fireball, you got a lot of drive gauge as well. Dash up throw, he techs on the third one. Can he find a size with the perfect parries there? Trying to keep pace with the fireballs. Back throw, no. The walk up throw from Kawano will seal the deal. And what patient fireball play you see from Kawano. No OD just spit just yet from Tokido to cut through.
Big explosion of damage in the corner carry is so important. Another important tech from the side of Tokido does get the big punish counter and possibly the carry as well from the enhanced Tatsu dash 2 times over. Knocking on the doors for a frame trap, but no bite up until Kawano backing up and finding that important hit again to set the tone. Fireballs right in front of Tokido. Tokido not really able to get perfect parries in a position to get a punish, but at least trying to nullify some of the fireballs with Tokido. His timing is all off.
Ooh. Continuous burst. It's level 2, level 1 fireballs, the heavy fireball, and look at how close he is. He's so confident to be that close. One bad jump and you can equalize it. But Tokido here has spent quite a bit of bar to do so. The trade still favoring Kawano as he has the lead, peppering down with the OD fireball, level 2 fireball. Look at this, my man's eating it for lunch, breakfast, and dinner. This man's a winner. Kawano, crouching medium kick, fireball, stand light kick, simple stuff, solid execution to keep Tokido out.
When you were highlighting some of the strats and some of the strengths that Ken does have, you could kind of flip it over and turn it towards Akuma and see the exact same stuff in regards to what the offense is looking like. You do have a little bit of layers behind it because Akuma actually does have access to cross frame normals. We don't see that just yet. We haven't really seen it utilized because the fact of the matter is, Kawano hasn't needed to do any of it just yet. The corner already being given to Kawano off of some of the stray hits he's collecting from Tokido's lack of defense.
Finally, a perfect parry. He's able to get in right after the drive rush jab. Got close enough to do so. So Chikawano able to fight out. Finds a heavy kick, crouching to get punch. Sweep the double. Not even double dash up. Drive rush throw right after the dash. Tokido breaks the throw, but it seems like Tokido doesn't want to spend any bar for that OD fireball, or at least rarely. He'd rather spend that for like a drive rush jab after a perfect parry, just like so.
Ooh, what a stop too. Majority of the time he's thrown out standing light kick, but he was absolutely ready for the counter with crouching medium punch, completely stuffing the drive rush attempt from Tokido. Looking at match point. If the adjustments need to be made, it has to be done now. Standing light kick as a punish counter, perfect parry. Not gonna go for the side switch, instead we're gonna go for meter and the carry. I like this. Tokido, very ambiguous, and what attack, what defense from Kawano thus far.
One of the best. It's hard to read when he wants to go for these defensive tactics. Parry, gets the punish right off, hands Tatsu once again. Picks up setup, deep the jump fears, harassing the drive cage. Throw, but we're out of there. The down kick able to hit. He tried to go for the ground spears, anti-air. He got pressed from above into the sip in that calamity. This obviously won't kill, but it will put Kawano into the green for drive gauge and take quite a bit away from Tokido. That means less drive rush, means less perfect parry. Drive rush DP, the anti-air. The overhead the back row instead.
Oh, this is going to be a big rain out for other drive gauge, but this is going to net a ton of damage. Tokido, what do you do now to enforce the point? What do you do now to force either the burnout or the big mistakes from Kawano? Yes, sir, I like that. No matter how you slice it, that would have been Tokido's round. If the block had happened, he would have been in burnout, and he still would have been enough within range to force a big drive impact for the stun. I love the recovery from Tokido thus far.
Drive impact, not the correct chin ride. Good call out right there from Kawano. Pick up the proper one. Drive impact, he catches the brawl. Even better this season, that crouch community kick into drive impact. Way more of a stable option for Akuma. Throw. A shimmy, the finesse and bless. Put this man to rest with the Imperium's in. Foul. Kawano, 2-0 on Tokido.
Damn. Only a single round was bestowed upon Tokido. We thought that would have been the beginning of something beautiful. But Kawano, you know what? He understands when disaster strikes against Tokido, you got to keep striking. You got to keep knocking him down, because that was flawless, in my opinion. In terms of the game plan against Tokido, what he thought he was going to do, he called it all correctly. Even tracking down the jump back a little bit earlier ago with a drive rush forward into the DP, knowing full well that Tokido wanted to adjust and readjust position-wise. Tokido would not let him go through with it. 10 points, well awarded from the side of good 8 squad Kawano. We talked about how important it is to set the pace. This guy's already bringing all the energy. Now it's up to Gachikun to keep defending the turf.
Wow. What a match. What a first match. Okay. I'm back. Sorry. Just stars in my face. I think at this point you send out Akira. I don't think DJ and Akira are like friends. I feel like Cammy is not having a fun time having to fight that character because he can anti-air very effectively. So I'm assuming okay, that makes sense to me. But, you know, on paper is on paper. In the match, though, we've seen this lab rat be able to be effective against Cammy. I've seen him practice against Cammy. He knows when people want to go for that crouching medium kick, he has that forward heavy kick to low crush from Rashid as an option to outpoke that character, or at least try to outpoke in that scenario. And I think he's going to be prepped to prepare. I saw him fighting with Mizula and a few other Cammy players on CFN. So we'll see if that can work out against the Speed Star, who has, again, been more hot than cold. In fact, like he's been hot the entire time without, you know, with only a few exceptions, I should say.
Yeah. It's really just a matter of like how Akira wants to play, right? I think one of the biggest outliers that I guess not outliers is not necessarily the word I want to use. Like, I think in terms of his overall playstyle and how he's been performing, I think ambiguity is the right word to kind of explain his approach. I think he's done a great job of turning bad situations into a 50-50 for a lot of the cast, a lot of the players out here. What I mean is he's taken a lot of liberties with some of the ranges that he's exploiting with the dive kick and also with the OD dive kick as well. I think he's done a great job of enforcing a lot of fear despite Cammy being negative, because he's willing to throw out something pretty much insane, which is OD uppercut right after some of his negative frames where he's not at, where it's not his turn to press. So that alone at least tells me that, like, seeing him go this far, it tells me at least, you know, there are players out there that still really consider playing it by paper, playing it true to the numbers when it comes to understanding when it's their turn to press buttons and or not to, right? So Akira throws a lot of that logic out of the window. And I think that's one of his biggest strengths against players like Gachikun.
Yeah, you have the very standard player that's like about and by the numbers and by the book. And Akira, who just throws it out the window, but he does it because he understands the game. He's a big tech head. He understands how players want to play and certain players want to play. So I think that'll be a very big strength for him. Even if you do win the matchup on paper, are you effective against like the playstyle? Like playstyle is a big thing in Street Fighter 6. You could be effective in the matchup, but you meet a playstyle that's completely different. You might get cooked and washed. Now going to the interview, Gachikun says, Kawano started us off fantastic. I'll win to keep this going. And Akira says, I'm pretty nervous, but I will not be losing against Gachikun. I like that statement. So I will not be losing against Gachikun. We go back to what you were saying. I like the fact that he has that tendency to bust out when you don't expect it. And it probably frustrates a lot of these players. It's like, bro, it's not your turn. What are you doing? So you have to keep your head on your shoulders when that does happen and be like, okay, you got that. That's fine. You set back to neutral. It's okay. Maybe he'll drive rush stand fierce right after or whatever. But just take it, try to bait it out next time, and don't let it bother you or affect you. And plus, you're Rashid, you have level 2. You can put the same sort of pressure, but I guess in a different way, when that Yasar comes out to play. You know, she's got ways around it with level 3, but for the most part, it's not a lot. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what the mix is on either side. Gachikun and Akira. Next match.
My God, the intensity is crazy, man. It's almost palpable. That's wild. Just seeing these players getting themselves ready. This is what the introduction usually looks like, right? We're starting to see who would make the first error. Gachikun obviously spacing himself out, and just like that, already showing off that ambiguity and that volatility. Again! OD uppercut Akira is wild right now.
He gets aggressive, gets the bar back, already back in the green after spinning so many ODs. Counter hit, OD side switch, I like this. Radiant Cyclone. Heavy kick, perhaps a medium punch with a punish counter. These fireballs every so often. Have to be careful sending out the fireballs. Easy dive kick for her. Staggers the crouching medium punch. Gets the punish counter. Sends him off with the super. One more touch. One more hit. Wake up. Reversal light punch. Push back, yeah. Stagger. Sand Pierce. Gachikun brings it back by a precipice.
Just a bit of a pixel. Outside of Gachikun, going full one to Akira. If you wanted to try to get out of something, any sort of block string, any sort of frame trap specifically, you would have to expend that level 1. Obviously, he wasn't willing to do it. With the forward throw, anything he wants to at this point. Level 2, he jumped right into it. Akira in big trouble. We got the enhancement. Getting at the link, it's totally fine. The pressure is still there. Level 1 incoming. Doesn't even need it, I think. Yes, sir. The juggle afterwards. He wasn't even done with that combo. He could have done anything he wanted to afterwards. Gachikun making quick work of the Speed Star, claiming the title to his own.
You know what's really cool is I like that Gachikun did like dash up fireball, kind of switch it up. If you're standing in one spot, throwing out fireballs, you're gonna get dive kick jumped in on, and then you're gonna be feeling upset that the character can't anti-air right after or properly. So he did a dash up fireball, and sometimes he'll also do like drive rush fireball too to switch it up a little bit, especially on players that are a lot more active to catch them lacking. That's set up for the level 2 to come through. Sets us up for another fireball and the pickup right after. What a great read. A dive kick, you don't get the side switch unless you got the OD right after on that flower arrow. So you're spinning some of that bar, but it works out. Put him out in the corner.
Back throw. Or not the fireball, just to check what Akira does to counter it or even approach it. Big punish counter, actually. That was actually pretty far away. That was a giant error. We do get the Cyclone, OD spinning mixer. We do get the Arabian Sky High with a one-framer mid-screen.
That's clean. He box it out. Box up the ODDP. He's like, I know what you about. I rumbled that junkie too, buddy. Blocking like a pack of Legos. This dude, Gachikun, set point. Not only is he a lab rat fighting the characters, also the players. He's been studying.
Oh, what a delay on the overhead, but smart decision to hold on to that parry from the side of Akira now. In terms of defense, I think he's been pretty wild thus far. We'll see if he can tone it down a little bit in some of the decisions he's made to press buttons in some of the strings that Gatsukun's presented, but we need to see some of these big conversions off of the straight normals. Again, the big interruption. He tried to go in, good drive was cut short, and it was still short, no pun intended. Did the forward throw, do it again, enhanced, maybe spinning mixer? No, he just lets him out scot-free. Good amount of damage either way though. Corner control, 2 throws worth of damage.
The snipe. Attackers are stand medium. The Fierce is there. Level 1. Rashid kick gets it. Almost does. One more touch. One more tap. One more hit. Let's see. The freeze will kill. Jump in. Same Fierce. Spin knuckle. Try to push him to the corner. The drive gauge. Walks under and just gets a jab. A dab will do. 2. Another 2-0. Another 10 points.
So much control from the side of Gatsuku, right? You saw that introduction. We talked about how stern and strong his defense is. Like, we always attribute him as having some of the cleanest defense in the game. When you see his mentality round after round after round, you see him kind of like give up some of that space to set the tone because he's looking for any big opening. He's looking for Akira to kind of be impatient with some of his reaches, right? Some of his pokes. That alone, I feel like, sets so much of the pace for Gatsuku. It's like, all right, well, I know exactly the ranges he wants to play at, and I'm going to go ahead and smother him as soon as I punish him for it. I think he has not let go of that idea afterwards, after that single knockdown, and that's really what set him apart towards his opponent. I think Akira had a lot of decisions to make on defense. I think starting things off with the back-to-back OD uppercuts, and also every so often the OD, the jump and then OD dive kick. I think those decisions have kind of weakened his overall defense, right? Like, after he got hungry with his drive gauge, he had to resort to just normal defense and relying on 4-frame normals and blocking, which he wasn't able to do successfully. So that was actually pressure implemented upon himself for his early aggression on defense.
Looks like to end out this first set of matches, they're going to be setting out Lashar to go up against Pugera. And you know, we talked about this a little bit ago. You know, the fireball play actually might be a hindrance against Ed. We don't get to see this matchup too often, but whenever I get to view it, you mentioned the knee shot being important. It's hard for Ed to consistently anti-air that. The fireball play also makes it kind of hard to run your flicker gameplay. You try to throw out a flicker, he's got the OD fireball, you drive rushes in with the stand fierce right after, or maybe he's close enough to go for that strike throw, whatever it may be. So you're gonna really have to harass the drive gauge from Pugera. You're gonna have to clip away at that drive bar as much as possible. I'm curious to see if things do go bad, if he has to switch over to Bison. But this had to have been intentful for him, for them to draw out other certain players. And I'm assuming Pugera knew that Lashar was going to come up, because ain't no way Akira was going to come up, or a different player, and he was prepared for any of those other 3, possibly. Or I guess 2, because you wouldn't set up Sim. You would not set up Sim against DJ. So we're going to get the interview here from Pugera and get some words from him, possibly why he probably played DJ, and here's Lashar as well, his interview.
たいですね。はい、頑張ります。
頑張ってください。ありがとうございます。
Let's go, man. My man is sharp in English. He is sharp in Japanese. This guy really be sunning everybody out here in the world. Like, this guy actually is like, the ideal. Lashar is so cool, genuinely. But talking about the gameplay as well, I think he has been one of the big innovators for Ed alongside of the rest of the world. I feel like him, like Ending Walker, Momochi, you name it. I think overall now, he has set himself ahead of the pack, just seeing him here on the stage. I'm kind of curious to see what the matchup is going to be like, what the tone's going to be like for Pugera. As you can see, Gatsuku kind of like prepping him before the match. I think DJ does have a pretty significantly good time dealing with like the fireball game and setting the pace off of that. Defensively, I do get a little bit nervous outside of drive gauge expenditure. I think Ed having DJ in burnout is such a big deal. Hell, And having anybody in burnout is such a significant factor, especially with like the flicker pressure that the Shark can continuously enforce, and he's already done so and proven that he can do it pretty damn well against the entirety of Japan. So my biggest issue is two things. Will Pugera be able to stave himself away from being burnt out early by Lashar? And two, will Lashar fall susceptible towards the pacing that Pugera presents with both the fireball game, sway forward? I think sway forward also is low-key kind of tricky if you read a flicker, because it does have that projectile invincibility on his upper body. So we'll see. I think there's a lot that's going to be considered, but those are the two main factors that I'm going to be looking forward to for the set.
In addition to those, I want to see the drive rush pressure that's presented, and if Pugera can earn his way in. I know that sounds kind of wild with DJ, him having the fastest drive rush in the business, but watching Lashar acclimate to how Ed is now and how he's been able to, at certain ranges, to certain buttons to check drive rush, crouching light kick maybe a little bit closer, stand jab a little bit further, doesn't convert until he feels like he's ready to convert into something significant, even using stand medium kick sometimes as well. I'm curious to see if Pugera is going to be able to be allowed to get in that fashion, or if Lashar is going to be able to check and challenge the drive rush so continuously that it doesn't happen. Obviously, Fireball is going to be a part of that, the fake out too as well, put some mental stack on, an aerial approach as well. But Lashar also positions himself where it's hard to actually jump in on Lashar. Like, he's usually backing away, he'll walk underneath predictively, and also, I guess obviously reactively at the same time. So I don't think it'll be so easy to hit that knee shot so continuously unless you're dead close and you've already earned the right to get in that close. So I think you're right in terms of like the drive gauge management. Also, I want to see how good Pugera is with that. Like, yes, the character got more meter management combos that are less meter used, and some meter less combos used as well that you can go for, and maybe spin level 1 instead of like spinning more drive gauge. But in terms of like his damage output's lessened a little bit, so your routing's a little bit different. What you're going for might be a little bit different too as well. When you spin OD Fireball at this high level, you can get burnt out quicker than you might think. Fudo is one of the best at doing so, but we'll see if Pugera has that same sort of sauce. Pugera, Lashar, ending our first set of matches.
見ていきましょう。1巡目大将戦プゲの DJ 対するはレシャーの行ってみましょう。
Turn it on, the anchor match between the two. Pugera representing good 8 squad, Lashar with Yogi-Bo reject. Oh, he walked out a mile and Lashar still tried to reach. Oh, the confirm from down below.
That's the drive rush up, strike throw. We go for the crouching medium punch. Lashar blocks it out. He's looking up in the corner. It punishes the crouch fears. That shimmy tool getting dealt with in the kidney killer with the back throw. Ah, caught the sway play. You really thought.
Oh, the uppercut. Now the burnout has happened. Not too much life. Actually, this is pretty important. Oh, I was going to say Pugera, he might be able to set the tone with the fireballs from full 3/4 of the screen perhaps, but he wanted it. I guess he wanted to really enforce a closer match against Lashar instead of trying to chip away.
We thought Lashar would be afraid of that level 2 possibly, but I don't think he's going to expend that like that. Either way, where do we go? Double dash up, by reversal, on the wake up, the fake up with the fireballs. That same sort of style. Gets a target combo. That's it. Kill rush in, sway play, punish counter. Tries to go for the throw, ODDP, lets it rip. Oh.
Both are swinging with their haymakers. It's crazy. A lot of fierce is being represented from the side of Pugera. Lashar backing away, finding his opportunity to get the corner switch. I like that too, from the OD flicker. That is a great way to utilize that meter to force the opponent to come to you. Perfect parry.
Take that setup to kill the drive gauge. Knocking over those jabs. He breaks the throw. He backs up, avoids the flicker. Sway, but no counter. That's a counter, but too far for the crouching immediate punch. This man sends out the super. String him up. It's not enough. It's not enough. ODDP. What else can you do? Man.
We got to dial it in. We got the keyboard and everything.
Distance it felt like. How prepared he is at every point in the map. is speaking to the quality of a player that he is. That fake out fireball, so a little bit of that mental stack, but the flip parry is there. Lashar gets a fat jump and a punish counter. It's like a blitz with a knockdown. He's in with the Oki. Medium stand medium, punch caught a pressing button when he shouldn't. Delays the stand fierce. Getting into him.
Like a big damage combo, but it does allow Pugera to get some drive gates to him and at least push back Lashar for a favorable position. Drivers forward, doesn't take the throw. Doesn't really need to. He can take a couple of more if need be, but too much would be a little bit problematic.
She's up for the damage, up the middle with the jabs. Backs off, drive rushes right back in. But the trade lets him win. Lashar stay patient and proper up in the corner. It's around.
Again, ripping that card from medium punch, whether to goad Lashar on into pressing a button, I don't think he even had like enough resources to even manage that trade. Just the idea of trying to trade a frame trap is so difficult without the life behind it. Level 3 currently sitting from the side of Lashar. A single hit will do it. He just happens to catch it. That Sobot was a little bit too close. Light punish into the full string up. Level 3. Again, we gotta resort to Google, man. We got the keyboard on the screen. How do I beat Ed? Pugera? Do I switch characters? Send help.
What tier is Ed right now, currently? That's what he needs to be Googling. I mean, honestly, though, Lashar is just too pristine. That guy was ready for a punish, way in the proper distance. I feel like he's almost like, I don't want to say he's like taunting him. He's just inviting these mistakes to happen. Pugera, even more so on the back foot, even though we saw him have the positioning to trap Lashar up in the corner, it did not matter. Like, Lashar looked like he was like, hey man, I'll take that crouching medium punch combo, that's cool. Go back to neutral and I'll take that trade right after. The interruption against the forward medium kick was gosh dang amazing. Just the way that Lashar plays, he's ready for everything. He has the proper buttons ready for whatever needs to come next. Just the way he plays Ed it makes me think the character is still insane and the character is still good. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what Ed players say. I don't care what any of y'all say. If he's playing like that, this character can still cook. Ed's still fine. All right. Just putting that out there. Sorry. Anyway, Lashar's good.
Lashar is more than good, brother. He is elite. This guy is cooking up so much specific tech with Ed towards whatever target he lands on, right? Him cooking up stuff against Pugera the way he wants to play, already nullified twice over. You even have the replays coming in from the side of Tokido and the camp to dissect what went right and what went wrong to ensure the safety of these points, right? Lashar is going nowhere right now. He's got 2 games to his name. It really is right now up to Pugera to decide whether or not he wants to stick it out with DJ, 1, and then 2, what to do against the wall of Lashar, because he is looking like an immovable force.
It's one of those moments where I feel like, and this is beyond even the character, like you are just getting cooked up by Lashar. He's feeling way too confident in the neutral, confident playing out these buttons. Your buttons are getting checked and challenged continuously. There's a little lag time on that forward medium kick. It's like 20 frames plus startup, I think, on that. But regardless, for Lashar to be so prepped and prepared against those buttons, the drive rushes and things like that, to take trades when need be, and to get a perfect at the very end, this is beyond. It's like you need to correct things on what you're doing for your game plan and how you're fighting Lashar. Then the character can come right after. I think he's going back in with the DJ. It might seem, hold on now. No, he selected DJ. It's in the DJ. So he's ready to die. The DJ play for the possible final game. Where Lashar's playing, it might be.
Round 1. Fight.
Hopefully we can get a change of pace, right? Good 8 squad. They started off with a 20 thus far. We might find ourselves in a position to get into a tiebreaker scenario for the extra 5, perhaps. I don't know if that's going to be like in play. It's either that or we just accumulate the points 20-20 and then move on to the next set. But we'll find out in just a bit. Lashar, again, already going to work. He's putting Pugera in the corner, nearly below 50%. His drive gauge is healthy. He's got 1 bar. Everything looking great for Lashar.
Driver's throw. And once again, the backdash. Great clutch to avoid the throw. Still needs to find a way out, though. For a punish counter, we'd like to get a side switch conversion with the OD. OD fireball, off the forward medium kick for the plus frames. Lashar holding parry to keep his bar up as much as possible. Pull him close for the strike. No throw, though. Come here. Gonna go with the jabs, delay. Still blocks out the cross pierce. Lashar still confident right now. You can see it. Perfect parry every single fireball, it feels. Knocking those away with confidence. Sarah cannot find a way in. The walk-up crouching light kick. Odin fireball, holds parry against it. Perfect parry again.
Man, Lashar is swinging for the fences. Bugera is just so reluctant to even try to snipe those out, and the forward throw down to 16 seconds, and still back into the spot where Bugera was ever so dominant, that is in the corner. Bugera has not found a solid answer thus far. He held on for quite a bit. I will give him that. But it didn't lead to the W he was asking for. Bugera again, Lashar again, trying to drive on in there, creating that pressure, creating those tense moments within the mid-range space. Into goading Bugera into pressing the wrong buttons, perhaps counter hit. Back to back throws. Give me a third. This is where you press the buttons now.
For you. Alright, but able to get the crouching medium punch in between the string. Drop the elbow move to the level 3. Immediately has to get some bar back. ASAP. Level 2 might have been good to get the side switch, but he wants the damage. He wants as much bar back as possible. Shard still looking really good. On the drive rush, gets back though with a kidney killer. And we're touching level 3, goes to level 2. You think drive reversal, you had to do it, but now you're at burnout. Whip punish, and Lashar finds success to put Bugera to rest, 3-0. Wow.
I cannot imagine what that input could have been from Bugera throwing out the forward median kick. I have no business trying to even call or assume what the idea was behind Bugera's forward medium kick. That sunrise heel was from out of left field, genuinely.
This guy, Lashar, though, has been sniping at the proper distance after a drive rush, finding the proper hit after like a crouching medium kick, stand medium kick, whatever it may be, right at the tip of the drive rush. He's mastered this character. You saw it right there. Even the secret pick of the DJ did nothing to Lashar. However, it is tied up 20-20. So I do have to note there that Good 8 Squad had a good start, but it was all stopped by the Golden Finger himself.
We're not going to necessarily get the tiebreaker. I don't think that's going to be in play. I don't think we even had that over in playoffs. So this is what it's going to come down to. It is a tie ball game between the two. And I got to say, man, this is a lot of information to digest because of the fact that Yogibo Reject is now going to be switching over to the away side, right? Lashar, albeit having 3 solid games straight against Bugera, what do you do now for Good 8 Squad to counter that, right? I think Kawano and Gachikun already did a good job of taking care of half of the roster. Now they're in fear of the other half, which is Lashar and potentially Torimeshi, but after all we've seen throughout the season, I don't think Torimeshi would be involved, at least on the away side of things. If anything, we'll see Dawson way more in Street Fighter Duel than we will see in today's playoffs in Grand Finals. That is for certain. And what's cool about that is you get so many different aesthetics from the side of Dawson. He's got so many different outfits and moves, actually, that they've given him in Street Fighter Duel. It's been a really, really grand time. I actually started picking it up again little by little. I've left off from so far back, but it's been cool kind of just like going through my dailies, kind of clearing the story out, and also getting all the free like gems that you get for unlocking all the goodies. And speaking of goodies, we have so much stuff coming out from these collaborations that Sincola had mentioned prior. I'm low-key trying to get these socks. I want the black ankle socks, but if they're like high-end 2 socks, I'm super down for that, right? With some of the stitching involved, like listen, I love myself some high-quality stitching. If I can get the different variations of the Street Fighter logo, color me happy, bro. I would be down to rock that any day of the week with a nice pair of Chucks, or even some Nikes for that. But all of that said and established, I gotta say, man, it's been a really, really fun time to see all this cool stuff, because even if I don't wear it, I could take it back and give it to my parents. My parents definitely rock so much of my like extra gear that I get from like all the Street Fighter stuff that we've collected over the years.
Or even like the hoodie right here, because that one looks really good too as well. With the food, I mean, all these collabs have been super sick, bro. Every time they show a food thing, I want to try it. It's got to have like a different flavor, I'm sure, per character. I'm not sure. What I'm sure is that we are seeing, again, that combination with Street Fighter in the outside world. And it's just great to see more collabs come through and support the scene, support Street Fighter. As you said in the chat right there, this classic hoodie is godlike. Man, just kept selecting in the back. I'd like to see that. Can we get one of those? Can you save one of those production, please?
What is this graphic in the middle? Is that a mouse pad? If that's a mouse pad, I'm a big sucker for like all of the old school graphics. Like you get what, Ryu and Honda throwing barrels at each other? You had Akuma on the right. Is this my man, Sajam? Hold up. Hold up. This is a very, very special occasion, by the way. We have the Reject Fight Night group going up against the Sajam Slam crew for the International Championships of Sajam Slam happening right after Capcom Cup, by the way. It's going to be happening the week after Capcom Cup live in Japan with the top two teams from both camps facing off against each other. You don't want to miss it. Really exciting times with already done. Let's get into the next one right after this. When we come back, we got more of that Street Fighter League Japan action coming right at you.
「夢と現実が一つになる」モンスターハンターブリッジ。
set of matches this is. The final bout between Good 8 Squad and Yogibo Reject. We are tied at 20-20. So this is going to be a really, really tough one to call. My name is Vicious here with Senkola to kind of figure out what's going to come up next, right? Yogibo Reject is now going to be faced with a pretty significant problem, being on the away side and susceptible to the counter picks. However, Good 8 Squad, with as strong as they were out the gate, fell apart at the very, very end, but not without any good reason. I feel like Pugera really trying to flexercise that DJ was a good attempt early on. I think going forward, however, he might be a little bit more of a threat now that that data is collected and he has numerous characters under his belt, including both Bison and Juri. With that in mind, Senkola, how are you feeling now that Yogibo Reject is going to be on the back foot?
Let me see the order first. Feel really good, actually. Okay, as long as they didn't set up no sim, they're doing great. All right, you got the cam, you got the Ken, you got the end at the very end. Now, that being said, there could be the counterplay, the secret weapon sim from the other side of things from Good 8 Squad to fight Lashar. On the reverse of that, though, I saw Lashar fighting some sim, being able to whip punish buttons with like crouching light kick and having a game plan for that. So I'm sure he's ready and prepared for Wachimochi to step up to the bat for the anchor position. But I think this order overall is pretty good. Like, you're gonna have to put up Ed eventually, and if Lashar is that good in the anchor position, it's gonna be hard to keep him away, even if there is a counter pick. You feel me?
Yeah, I think that's pretty much in line with what I was thinking of as well. I think this is the exact order, not exact order per se, but this is the exact roster that they would want anyway. I think being susceptible with a Dawson pick is only going to cause you to lose points in more cases than not. It's not to say that, it's not to take away from Tori Meshi and say he's not capable, but let's face the facts. I feel like Dawson would considerably struggle with who is on the roster of Good 8 Squad. And that's not to take away light from Tori Meshi. I'm sure he could take down each one of these guys individually, but in terms of risk reward factor, I would want to keep it consistent with the current roster that we have right now. So they thought about that from playoff day 2, right? Akira, Tokido, and Lashar. So it's gonna be Pugera starting things off first with DJ against the Kami pick. Now, this is also a secondary pick that some of the commentators have talked about during Hameko's choice, and it's also something that you chimed in on. Now, I know you've been playing DJ, or at least have maybe transitioned over to Akuma. I'm not too sure exactly, but I know that you've had a firm understanding of like DJs. What is it about like this pick that Good 8 Squad was like, you know what, I'm comfortable enough and confident enough in Pugera to face off against the Kami matchup specifically?
There are two things I feel like that are really good for DJ. He can anti-air effectively with that heavy kick. He can do so with the DP that reaches so high in the sky now. They've made it a lot better than what it used to be, or at least in the Season 2 nerfs. They kind of reverted some of those so it makes sure it hits high enough, so it's a good anti-air. It's not a good button again, or not a good like a reversal button. And also it feels like if they do a bad dive kick, you can sweep that from the proper distance if you're prepped and prepared. I feel like it's really good against like characters that try to dive kick in the wrong sort of way. You have many ways to punish that with like reaching buttons like stand fierce and things like that. Also, you can throw out fireballs a little bit easier because you can fake things out. You have to fake out to put some of that mental stack on. You can throw out the other sorts of fireballs a little bit easier because of that. For other characters, you kind of just throw out fireballs the similar pacing at least, but she has to be worried about you faking that out and then you block it out or neutral jump, whatever it may be. So I think DJ is a very good pick against Kami.
Yeah, I always forget about like actually doing the sweep, like the roundhouse sweep, and how like the startup is pretty. You just call him out. He's like, pay attention to me, man. That was pretty funny. What was I saying? I think, you know, like the long startup with the sweep of the actual like crouching roundhouse from DJ is a pretty significant tool to face off against like a dive kick character too. So there are plenty of tools to combat against Kami's air approach, which I like that you highlighted that. The overall damage output could be a little bit problematic for someone like Akira, who has been very antsy on defense, right? We've seen him opt to go for drive gauge expenditure. He's done OD uppercut a few times. He's actually done wake up jump dive kick, OD dive kick at that as well. So I think Pugera, with the damage output that DJ does have, is looking forward to punishing fat against those types of tactics. So I could see why when Good 8 Squad decided to put Pugera up, it's not just like something DJ could possibly get over Kami with an advantage, but also I think player-wise, I think Pugera has enough patience and enough like observational skills to sniff out when Akira would do something crazy.
You're right. The reward is a really big thing. You know, they tone down the damage a little bit, but it's still DJ. It's still dump it out compared to other characters. It's still very high. Speaking about the matchup, Akira says, I don't like this matchup. I had this matchup in my mind, and I made ready for this game, but Pugera's DJ is really strong. I'll do my best to get another win. Pugera says, I lost badly the first game, but I have my moves fixed. I'll win against Akira. And I think it's one of those things where him saying he got his moves fixed is like, okay, now I understand how to play DJ at this high level. I got warmed up. I'm ready. And he's not fighting like someone like Lashar. You're fighting a different sort of character. As you mentioned, the mistakes are going to be even more magnified. If DJ blocks out an ODDP, it's going to be the end of you. And also, on top of all that, DJ kills a lot of drive gauge. His fireball pressure, you can do it with the OD. Fireballs up in the corner, so you have to be even better about your meter management as the opponent on the reverse of things. So Akira has to be careful about spinning that ODDP because it's like, okay, I spin a few bars here. I'm worried about the future.
盟友2人の対決、果たして何が起きるのか。プゲラ DJ に対してアキラは何を見せる。これが2巡目先鋒戦、アキラキャミ対するはプゲラ DJ。 いってみましょう。
I love it. Here we go. Game number 1 in the reset. The side switch between the two teams. Jogibo Reject now on the late side. Akira being subject to possibly counterpick. Yeah, can he make the big adjustments from how he played in the other spot? We'll find out.
Sway play coming through, killing that drive gauge. Same with Akira trying to initiate with the drive rush fierce. Garrison with the medium, in sync with the jackknife, double dashes up. Almost got him with the crouch fierce. Nice interruption, gets a counter it. The Oki.
Ooh! Love the Sobot! Happy little accident to get the forward throw as well. And you see that already, Pugera taking it over. A lot of damage incoming. Level 1. So I think you noticed Pugera had done a drive rush to go into Sway, to go Akira into possibly doing something very, very dangerous. And Akira was 2 steps ahead, right? He hasn't done anything super wild thus far to throw Pugera off. And I'm loving this.
Now he knows how punishing that crouch fierce can be. Upper distance to get that dive kick against it. Drive rush jab, starts it off. Strike throw. Interruption with the medium. He thought a throw was coming through to counteract that. Pugera went for the medium. Steps and steps ahead right now in this match. Level 3, get your bar back. Put him on the back foot. Picked up and get damage here. Built the red assault. One more touch.
Nice and easy. Akira with a huge sigh of relief and immediately coming forward is Pepito with the iPad and the notes. I gotta say, man, Pugera has not really shown off the type of play style that we're expecting from him in terms of like how smothering he can be and how much of a threat he can be also with like the neutral game. Thus far, we're seeing only a fraction of Pugera's full power, respectively.
Akira doing the southern right now. They try rush jabs, find the proper entry points. I think there's not been like that fireball game established where you're fearful of that and the neutral kind of disrupts the rhythm that Kami wants to do. And the dive kicks too. They've been flying kind of free right now. Crouch fierce, resets the pressure with the driver. Didn't have the proper conversion. The distance was a little bit too far. But Akira's right back in. One more round to get the win and get a 2-0 finish once again. This time we switch it up for Yogi Ball.
That was huge. It was a punish counter against the attempted flash parry from the side of Akira. Now Pugera does have a slight life lead, but when it comes to keeping it, I don't know if he'll be able to sustain. Dude, Akira's still pressing a button. You know, this is wild. Pugera has been really looking forward to big punishes against Akira and some of his rash decision making from what we saw in the previous game, but Akira is not giving him any quarter. I think like his decisions to press buttons like crouch, dude, stealing turns. Come on, bro. We were just talking about how sturdy you've been playing. The big jump.
Whoa!
You
Not a drop.
You had the opportunity to go into level 3 and you dropped it. There was the parry. I'd imagine he missed time. Obviously, he missed time the drive rush cancel. That is so critical against Akira. Jeez, what a time to drop. Also, the big recovery. We'll spend it now.
Oh yeah, get that bar back and then some. This is gonna be big because, you know, DJ with level 3 in the last round would be great, but no bar to his name up in the corner. Your only reversal is that DP. Walk up back throw though, switches positions. Drive rush crouch fierce, trying to find a home. Drive impact, not clipping a limb. Drive rush jab, he's in for the strike though. This time he goes for the strike. Oh, the whip push is off the soapbox at the very tip. Okay, charge up.
Ooh. And then the swing gets interrupted. I'm telling you, man. I just said it. Really scary positioning for Bugaro to even try to do either a Sobot or a swing. Akira knew it. Being able to interrupt correctly with a very long-reaching limb. And very active, too. Really great assessment from the side of Akira, both in terms of activity on offense and also what he chose to do on defense. His button choices, whether it was like regular jab or waking up with buttons, and him not going for something crazy like an OD uppercut, really threw Pugera off guard, I gotta say, man. And that crouching knee towards the end, although it being, what, 8-frame startup and only having 3 active frames, my man, it felt like it was active forever to catch that swing. Really well placed from Akira.
Even before he came back from repositioning himself over this way, the crushing kick was able to hit. And Akira, again, the timing, the ODD piece was picture perfect. When it did come out, it came out when Bugaro was so much on the back foot, so frustrated, that it made it worse for Bugaro right after. And that level 3 expenditure, yeah, that landed Bugaro the victory, but he had no bar to fight back with his name, and land that big boy damage. He didn't really get access to that big boy damage, and the DJ not really working out thus far. I feel like, if anything, Akira was the one that fixed his things with his character. And now we move on to this next match. Who do you send up?
Against Tokido's Ken, I like Kawano again. But it's Gachikun coming up next, so that's gotta... Okay, I'm thinking to myself... Okay, this is tough. Alright, so I would have thought Kawano, just based off of the 2 games straight that he's had against Tokido.
Yeah.
Gachikun stepping up to the plate also makes me think that they might put out YHC Mochi for the anchor match.
I feel like they have to. But it is wild to see Gachikun go up against Tokido. I feel like when it was so dominant, he has such a good game plan against the way that Tokido wants to play. He stopped the whole dissecting thing from happening. He was like, you're not gathering data on me. I'm gonna put you with fireballs, you won't get in for free at all. Like, you don't have to expend drive gauge, perfect parry, and even when you do so, you're wasting bar. Tokido says, so it's time for this, let's do it. That's a pretty cool statement right there, as both of them go and get set up for the sticks. I'm surprised to see Gachikun go up, but I want to see how the defensive style works out against Tokido. Again, he wants to get in, see what you're about, and then cook you from there, right? Gachikun says, we don't need to talk. We don't need talking for this matchup. Let's just go. Dang, they are hungry to play. I like this.
That's pretty cool.
Wow.
I was looking it up. I think they said Yarimas or like Yarimaska, or one of the 2 variations perhaps, but I like how they went back and forth with each other, kind of like to say that. It's pretty funny. I think it's cool to see like the personalities kind of line up between the 2 and see like the competitiveness between the 2 as well. I think it's really, really neat. But this is a really great matchup to behold. I don't know what the overall standing right now between Tokido and Gachikun is, but I kind of don't mind Rashid facing off against Ken. I think he's got a lot of value on both offense and defense to kind of force some really critical errors. I mean, we talk about one of the main things when we talk about in terms of the meta is how often can a character survive like throw loops, how often can a character get away with like doing ODDPs and using their supers as a reversal to kind of throw the other person on edge. Both of those characters can easily do that, right? Throwing that out the way. But in terms of like potential value or like potential like damage value, I honestly think that Rashid might have just a tad bit more, just based off of the utility that he has from his level 2. I think Enhanced Whirlwind 2 and the mix potential that he has can lead to so much more damage. whereas Ken's feels a little bit linear. Albeit, even if it's linear, it's still very damaging and very hard to get out of. But there isn't as much to think of in regards to like a Rashid, right?
Also for defense, Rashid has the ability to TK wake up God pick. You know, that's been something I've seen JB and the likes do against these these kids, go for the throws continuously. So that is an option. You have to worry about on wake up. Now, like heavy punish if it's blocked out. You got to be careful, but proper reads yield success.
I was thinking about it. I'm like, dude, I wish he had Eagle Spike in the air like that. But yeah, no, the Arabian Sky High is actually a pretty significant deal to get himself out of like throw loops or potentially throw loops, right? Oh, no whiff punish on the Swede. We talked about how good Gatsuku's defense has been thus far in terms of sniping out some of the long-range limbs. But damn, dude, there is an agenda right now from Tokido, and it is deplete the drive gauge. Back throw catches Gatsuku.
A lot of room to breathe here. We went for Rashid. Playing the butts ever so often. Raiden Cyclone doesn't commit. That's a stand like kick, but nothing big after it. Otatsu, at the very minimum. What Tokido's fine to harass with these buttons. The stop sign, stand fierce, fist to face, up in the corner space. Prevents Gatsuku from leaving not only in the east side, but also the west side. First round, Tokido.
Very, very lucky opportunity there for Tokido. Now Gatsuku returning the favor. Level 2 pretty early. Let's see what the defense is like. We have the parry, the pretty significant tech, and you know what? Not too much damage incurred. Totally fine. But Gatsuku, this is the... Oh no! You saw the startup with the mixer. Get completely stuffed out. Somewhere Big Bird is flying.
Cool Captain 2. Jump fierce this time. We perfect parry. We punish right after. Oh, do you get the side switch? Cyclone.
I like that.
Crouching medium punch right after.
I love that sequencing too to get that extra mileage off of the corner carry, but also set yourself up for a safe shot mix.
Throw. Pull the jabs. Walk up the right after. Timing's a little bit off right now. It's hard for Gatsuku to read as he gets another toss towards victory. Tokido again, he set himself up for success. Jab, jab, a little bit, delay, and then dash or throw when you least expect. He's playing around you as a player more so than the character gives half a damn time.
Very well time to jump in. Get the knockdown as well, being able to get the rest of the spinning mixer combo. Medium crouching medium punch leading into a gang of damage, spending the drive break for the extension. We get the spinning mixer yet again, but now we get the mix from the Cyclone. Back to back throws, do it again. Oh, the uppercut, you had to do it. Tokido was on his last limbs too. He couldn't take that throw, but Burnout might be a threat. The jump back, the defense, the activity from Tokido.
So tap puts him in burnout. Tokido's got more drive gauge to play with, but it's a one-touch scenario here. Gatsuku looking for the overhead to clip a crouching medium kick. Walks up the Jinrai. Turns back with the Arabian Cyclone, but the trade in favor of Gatsuku. Willing to take that any day of the week. Held in the bank for that one.
Yeah, Gatsuku is really tantalizing that medium range, right? He's been going back and forth between that crouching position to see if Tokido would fight just outside of the range, and he does so eventually. Exactly what Gatsuku was trying to get.
Rip, that was punishable, even more so this season. Big fall, put that throw right after. To space, go for an OD fireball to activate. Maybe he'll just look for a level 3 sequence. Just depends on what he's looking for here. Overhead, touching anything. Ah, whips the stand fierce. To the corner we go. Enhanced Tatsu. Avoiding that, crouching mid kick shimmy. I like that from Tokido. Wait for him to come down, he does! Hits it with the crouching mid kick. We talked about that heat game, dive kick. Triple Jinrai can let that fly. Damn!
Exact strategy, playing more so in favor of Tokido. Ready as ever. Big punish counter after the low medium kick, and it's so big because of the momentum that he gets. The damage also. It all just comes crumbling down, I feel like sometimes when you're stuck in this corner. It feels so hopeless, but that's good. We talked about him having good defense for a reason. Forcing the Tokido to back off a little bit. This is what he needs to get started. Sky high, a couple of lights.
Right after.
Yes, sir.
Right, ODDP. But that's better here for Tokido. Not too bad. I mean, he's way better in bar right now. And now you're in burnout. That DP took too much. The Jinrai right after. Put 2 in burnout. This is what Tokido wants. Level 1 on the QD name to bust out. So OD Fireball, Drive Rush Fierce. What are we going for here, Tokido? OD Fireball, wake up super, not hit. You're from that distance.
So that was one of the options I was just about to say. OD Fireball actually incurs death. That actually is going to be a big thing to take note. But yeah, Tokido opted to go for that instead of trying to go for like a Drive Rush fake or even like a Drive Rush button. That was going to be the only option that would kill you. Going for the OD Fireball with plenty of time to react to it, I actually can't believe he went for that option. Critical Art was on deck for a while from the side of Gachikun.
I didn't think I was going to actually reach at that distance. My mistake. I was like, OD Fireball will be fine. I was with Tokido. I was like, yeah, man, at this distance, you're cool to throw it. But those hands are extended compared to other characters that throw out fireballs. And that range on level 3, all those things combined got him the victory. You're right. Damn, my bad. I would have been out with Tokido also.
I would imagine too, like mid-screen, I don't even think there's that much spacing between like Ken and Rashid as he lands either. So I'm very, very surprised and shocked that he went for the OD Fireball in that instance. But lesson learned, honestly, I think Tokido is still in such strong shape. Like before that situation had even shown up, you're talking about like the positioning that Tokido had. You're talking about the life lead and him having the momentum. I think outside of that slight error in decision making and that slight tunnel vision in terms of what meter was presented from the side of Gachikun, I think he has such a strong showing right now against Gachikun. This last game could be the exact push that Gachikun needs, man, to be honest with you. Otherwise, that would have been 2 games straight.
Would have been. Honestly, it's one of those things where he can confer with his team and say, at least his team could say, hey man, you went for ODDP and you got close to burnout and then he burnt you out right after. Be careful of those things because Tokido's looking for that. That's been an option since Angry Bird and many other Ken players have used that to kind of bait out the bar. You'll take the ODDP as long as you are heavier in the drive gauge department and then going right after to kill the rest of the drive gauge. I'm with you in terms of being surprised that he went for the OD Fireball. Beyond that, he's been picking apart Gachikun with these jabs, so like jab, wait a little bit, then dash up throw. We've seen that counter hit come up continuously. He's catching the defensive timings of Gachikun, which takes a lot of work. Gachikun is a very defensive player. He understands when to press buttons, when not to press buttons. So for him to be caught like this shows signs that Tokido knows how to dissect him. Now, it's just not making critical mistakes. Don't the OD Fireball get hit with that critical bar.
See what the changeup is going forward now between the two. I mean, again, Tokido has had such a dominating performance thus far against Gachikun up until that very, very small error. Very significantly small. Well, small yet significant error, excuse me. I was going to say significantly small, but that was actually disastrous. But I'm not too phased out, I feel like, by the way that Tokido's been performing. It's a matter of consistency. He is definitely the one who's been showing that off right now. Crouching heavy punch now coming into play from the side of Gachikun from further distances, and I like that too. That's something he hasn't really shown off. He's shown off a lot of overheads thus far. He's been willing to throw the fireball game, but primarily he's been hovering around this range for whiff punishes.
Coming through from Tokido, finds a stand pierce, striking left side switch. Whip punish against that stand pierce. He's had enough of that button. And it makes sense. It's been leading to the corner. Access of damage. Back to the spin we go. Blocking low. We saw before he has been able to clip that walk back continuously.
A lot of missed opportunities from Tokido to get some of these big whiff punishes against some of the longer normals. Right? We had medium kicks flare out from the side of Gachikun, even a fierce, but that one is a little bit further out, so I don't blame him. But now, what do? Just at the tip of that block. Exposure, nothing big of it. I think that's one of the biggest things from Rashid, right? Even getting some of these hit confirms off of lows, you have to commit to like maybe a drive rush. Yeah, just like that.
Nice and close with a crouching light kick. Something a little bit faster when you're closer. Backdash on level 2, you know what to do. You saw her coming through the wing condition. Not a lot of help to give. Holds a drive impact. Look at that. Heavy mixer for the finish.
Round 2.
Kept it pretty simple. And I like the way he layered that too. Kept it very ambiguous with the drive impact attempt. I don't even think there was a lot that Tokido would have been able to do because of the whirlwind just being in front of him. Level 1, and you get the side switch. Fireball. No, it's dash up and stop Gatsuku from waking up with dash up. What a read from Tokido.
Way different for him now. He used to stand meter kick a little more distance on it than like Fireball. Nice setup for success. The drive impact. So I'm gonna get my link back. Tokido. Final game fun around with Gatsuku. Switching from the wake up here. Driver's throw. On tap parry. See that parry attempt continuously. Gatsuku trying to go for it against the Dragon Lash. Doesn't get it. Excuse me. Deep for the jump fierce. Oh, level 3 incoming, won't kill, but it will put him on damn near death's door. One more interaction with the drive gauge behind it. Lots to work with for Tokido. Wow.
Stellar dissection from the dissector, as you would mention. Tokido is looking so extravagant right now in that matchup specifically. A really big change in comparison to what we saw while he was on the home side not too long ago, taking that the double loss, actually, I should say, against Kawano. What a big showing. But again, I honestly think this is just like information being fed towards Good 8 Squad right now, right? I think so long as there's games to play, they're going to find out what needs to be done and make those adjustments. But I'm loving this either way from the side of Yogibo Reject. It's like, you know what? If you want to keep giving up these points, we'll gladly take it. We'll gladly take this lead and continue on with our momentum. Ooh,
wait. What?
Yeah, you heard that correctly. That is going to be Kawano with Akuma. We're not going to see any of the Dawsons coming into play.
Watching Lashar play against the Sims, it's not like it was picture perfect, but he had a game plan against that character. But watching him fight on Kumas, he eats them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and has a dessert with them too as well. He is so adapted at dealing with them if they try to go to the air. He walks underneath, he jabs them away off the Demon Ray play. It's even worse this season because you can't really get like a side switch and get Oki off it anymore. I feel like he has been so solid in the regulation play, and then outside of Street Fighter, we don't really talk about that too much. But he is so good against Akuma players that it's kind of crazy to see that Kawano wants to go up and fight him. Well, Lashar says Kawano was a really good player. I've practiced a lot this season, but today I'll win.
Very standard, man. Exact type of energy that we've had in the previous matchup between Tokido and Gatsuku, right? Tokido had actually mentioned, he's like, you know what? It's time. Let's do this thing. And then Gatsuku, we don't need talking for this matchup. That's pretty good. But yeah, I mean, Lashar and Kawano have been really setting the bar a lot. I think Kawano, we talked about him being like the golden child, I feel like, for his era. I think he's set the bar up so high for all of the rookies that have come in from SF5 and transcended into professional gameplay, I guess, professional Street Fighter 6 players into this current era. I think he's really stepped it up. But Lashar, I gotta admit, man, Lashar has been more so in the realm of other fighting games for so long, and him transitioning over to Street Fighter was a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because we get to see generational talent like this show up on the big stage, but it's also a curse if you're on the opposite end of that setup, right? All of these players have fallen short and fallen victim to the golden finger, but it also is like keeping everybody else really, really hungry. This guy is truly like a fighting game genius, in my opinion.
I've seen people inside and outside the league be like, I don't want to fight Lashar. Whatever it takes, I do not want to see him in my path. No matter who it is. I've seen top level players say this continuously, inside and out. None of them want to fight this guy. He is just a machine. Pristine and clean. And now I feel like he has a little bit of that human element where he kind of, I don't want to say gets cocky, but he plays around the person and invites them to have these mistakes. We've seen with the DJ. We are getting some words here from Kawano, or we did get some words, I should say. Lashar is a player we can't understand in modern Street Fighter tactics, but I'll win here to get some bits of info. Do you see what I mean and what vicious means? Even the players here are like, we don't get him and why he's so good. It doesn't make sense.
さあ準備は OK。
That's wild. That is such a
That's insane.
we were definitely, or I was at least definitely expecting a very standard response from Kawano, like I'm ready for the match, I'm ready to win, something like that, right?
さあ
But
負
him
けられない戦
being
い。
transparent like that, Lashar is a player we cannot understand in modern Street Fighter tactics. That is crazy. That is so sick, right? Like this is how impactful Lashar has been in not only the league but Japan.
All right, so Kawano cooks something up a little bit different. Level 2 fireball, able to get that knockdown. Let's see more ground to play here. Lashar is so effective at dealing with the aerial approach, even with characters they can kind of ambiguous. Base out the ODDP, adamant fist, crouch fierce, OD. Gets the wall splat, the fireball. Tatsu right after that. Heavy addition.
The destruction from Kawano with a level 1. Spending that level 1 also. Sorry, the perfect instead of the first round. Hello, English just... What just happened in my brain? I was so jumbled up by what just happened, I couldn't even construct the sentence correctly. But man, Kawano with the perfect to start things off, spending that level 1 is exactly what I wanted to say. And looking to repeat history, already enforcing the point, pushing the chart to the corner. What do you do to stop this?
The shimmy. Various of the fireballs is causing a little bit of a problem here for Lashar. As I say that, the flicker knockdown. Drive impact, too many fireballs, flying too often. Lands the quarter carry off the heavy Tatsu. Double dashes up, the bait out the Stampiers. Nobody home just yet.
Oh,
no way you could have
prepared for that. What a beast. That was such a delayed out of this too.
Talked about this, guys ready to check the challenge drive rush or any sort of advance, any sort of button or special with that Stampede kick when other characters, other players are doing it.
Oh,
Whips
so
up,
hard to
Darius.
test, dude. You can't even throw a fire. Oh my god, doesn't need it. Level 3 is incoming. That is insane. One, the patience coming out from Kawano. One. Two, the timing to throw out that fierce and also confirm afterwards. You've got to be kidding me. I honestly think he is that confirm into the drive rush cancel. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Kawano said, I get it. I understand it now. More ground to play actually is a benefit I hear with the fireballs. Been working out, but for him to have that control up in the corner, it looks like it lights out. This forces the Lashar to get a little more active on the round start. Knocked down with the cycle blitz. Perfect parry. The punish right after. My favorite book. Do whatever it takes to get the corner carry. Tatsu. Dash up. Back dash switch for the throw though. With punish. The sweep.
He built up so much meter off of that sequence and so much corner carry as well. Board, get off of me. Oh. That had to be a mistake. I'd imagine his ideal thought process was to try to get across that DP.
Very strange.
No idea.
Hope something after that overtime. Yeah. Immediate block right there on the low. Samurai kicks able to hit though. Other fist resets the pressure with the medium target combo. Is it with that heavy kick Tatsu? You want that maximum amount of corner carry. That'll give you that option. He is throw looping this man. Do it again. 4 times. One more. The tech finally comes through. This one more hit and you're through. Yeah, there we go. Crouching when he tried to walk up and reassess.
This is where it gets pretty scary from both ends, right? 2 level 3s on deck. Lashar already bullying Kawano into staying into this corner with the jump back. Channelizing with the mediums in a spot where, okay, actually misplaced one of the big buttons. Kawano with a big saving grace with that standing jet to start things off with a punish counter, knocking on the door. Get off me again! Good read against the string. Coming in against the shot.
Back up to not get caught with that burnout. He's bad right now. He has also the buffer level 2 if he wants it. some of these fireballs. The flicker, the tire is there to level 2. Eating through the drive gates as much as he can. It's like a blitz lands. We stand fears. Delays the crouching light kick, but again, not as strong as it was last season. Never said it happened. Can't go crouching light kick, crouching light kick.
No way.
But the crouching medium kick's gonna hit.
Oh, this is tough still. Despite Kawano having a slight life lead with the bars, he ran into Knuckles. All of it. Spend the rest of the bar. Already at level 2. Nice and easy, Lashar. Night. Give him the perfect. Give him back the perfect. I like this. We got ourselves a real match. We got 2 games, 1 game apiece from both ends.
It feels like Kawano's trying to take advantage of like the negative frames by walking in to that perfect range to get that jab off like we saw previously and get the punish off. But now Lashar's reading that intention. The back and forth, the back and forth. We got a match, as you said. Definitely a slobber knocker. Preparing the punish right after. Yes, nice and close.
Still within range, huh? I can't believe that stand jab actually caught as a punish counter from that far away. We do appreciate the conversion, but you know what? With the amount of damage that incurred from the side of Kawano, I think he was totally fine. He got the side switch after all, but can he make anything out of it right now? Because the Shark is knocking him down. But they confirm now. Uppercut. Kill rush forward, another throw. Looking for buttons. Instead, the throw comes out. Lashar, he was fishing for a button just a little bit. Once that was cleared, he's like, okay, I think it's time for me to get this throw off.
Guy's hiding kill rush back too as well to kind of misface some of these buttons. Hides intentions a little bit, trying to go for the OD fireball, but this time, stand like kick is fine to interrupt. More fierce, stand fierce right after, getting the turn a little bit on that -3. Fireballs now incoming. Peppering in too many though. Don't borrow time.
Single bounce, we got the Shin Dream. So much damage and already back to the corner. Kawano, what are you gonna do about that? Very important tech. He is locked up in the corner, but now with that much wiggle room, he has that much to get the punish counter with the poorly spaced level from the side of Lashar. We're barely misplaced. Oh, no
Dash up
way!
demon, no way! It works! He said, I'm gonna put you in burnout by any means necessary. Turn up the lights. Okay, so he's got level 2, level 1. It's a rebuttal. No gaps. Got the fireballs. Give it long range, long distance. Chipping away. DP, there we go. Nice anti-air.
Final round. Fight.
Banking on it too. Didn't even try to hold the fireball. Absolutely ready for Lashar's approach. Loving the fireball trap there towards the end from Kawano. But what happens now? If Lashar manages to land a single hit into OD blitz, it's gonna lead to a lot of damage in corner positioning. Kawano's not even going to give him that attempt. Spacing it out with forward medium kick. Checking the drive rushes as well. He's been very attentive to stopping the approach from Lashar thus far. Doesn't have the drive gauge left. He is stuck in a burnout phase. It's Lashar's time to start enforcing his will, especially with flickers. With that plus scenario, maybe for a readjustment. Kawano sensed it. That's why he's backing away.
Nice throw with the forward medium kick, the snap kick. Trying to catch him low. Almost back up bar. He's back. One of the best, I feel like, defensive players in Burnout is definitely Kawano. He's willing to go there when need be. Gets the crouching kick, heavy kick top 2 ender. We've seen this before. Just do a tick throw. He blocked it out. He had to have even better. Wary with the parry. You're dead. More to take if need be. Kawano gets the victory. That stand like kick is doing so much. Still crouching in that space in place where some of these buttons want to come out here from Lashar, but using stand like kick to check drive rush, to punish normals, to kind of have something quicker out before Lashar gets his buttons out. 2 games up for Kawano.
Round 1.
I can't really say that was like too ambitious from the side of Lashar throwing out that level 3. I think it makes sense to kind of like throw that out there to see if he has a read against Kawano's offensive decision making. And I don't think he did too poorly regardless throughout the entirety of that set, obviously. So I do like him throwing that into the fray just to kind of keep it on Kawano's mind. Oh.
But again, there's a fireball. Yeah, has to get off, jump over. Kill rush.
Oh.
Stuck there. Drive rush, heavy kick. Clipped him.
Still within range for plenty of fireball to the back dash off of a read. The throw completely whiffing from the side of Guano, now forcing himself into burnout off of that block string. Into the throw now. Digging away at the ribs. And man, Akuma's never been in a boxing match before, I'll tell you what.
Fireball regulation. No, the whip punish. Against, I don't know what that crouch fierce was. Had to been a fireball. Gotta be. Charles ready either way. Guessing game here with the ODDP. Heavy kick Tatsu. Hella me, it's like +4 right there.
Keeping him away. Liking that, the spacing out normal. Got some medium kick from that close, and it was a counter hit too. Very expensive, but well worth it. However, the scaling behind it doesn't lead to death. Not quite.
Third throw.
Oh!
Extra DP. Bust out, gets him some distance. Get some green. Lock out. It's a floor though.
This is tough. We're trying to single hit confirm. Oh, and he saw it! Bam! That's the second time he's been goading into pressing a throw. Not only against Kawano, but also against Figueira at least one instance. But I'm just nitpicking at this point. The fact that he actually went for that throw.
Minute decisions, but it's one of those things solid against these post flicker scenarios. And kick Tatsu, frame kill, gets a grip right after it. Anything he wants, a dash up DP, you'll take this. One more touch. First gonna throw will kill. That's the pressure. Caught him walk it back, blocks it out. The super should hit.
Two blocks on the side of Kawano though. Don't misplace your fireball. Oh, and he sniped out the startup of the fireball. He's done that before and he'll do it again in a clutch scenario. I said this before, but now I really mean it. We got ourselves a real match. 2 games apiece. Lashar versus Kawano down to the wire. Here we go.
Fight in the parking lot right now. The drive impact. They said that was dead. They said kill rush backdash was dead. This man has had the perfect spacing, clean and pristine. Lashar. Also, the fact that he's interrupting the fireballs too as well has been fantastic. What happens? The stand light kick. The toe tap comes right back into play from Akuma. Place the crouching medium punch. Another conversion. That's the interruption with the stand light kick again. Oh, the bait!
That was
Light even.
such a sharp angle, man. That was hard. I think that was very difficult for Lashar to discern what range it was going to be at if he would decide to like do, because obviously you have so many angles to consider off of the demon rate, especially if he decides to dive kick, right? So that was a tough call from Lashar to even commit to the Kawano, he'll definitely take it. Looking at match point.
Knock down the cycle blitz. Right for the corner, Sam Pierce. Cycle blitz again. Walk up throw, yeah, man caught in the parry animation, extra 4 frames. Drive impact, desperation, put yourself in burnout. Can you survive though? I don't know, man. So the OD fireball, drive rush to put us a final game, final round, 3 bars to Lashar's name, 2 on the side here. Yogi Boy rejects Kawano.
Any big hit, I can't say confidently that it'll lead to level 3 from either. We'll see. Kawano, this has got to be a big hit because he's got to dump out all the damage now because you're going to get all of your drive meter back. You also get to drain out a lot of the shards. You have one more sequence to cause that burnout, and you're also in a healthy range to have no, not even a cancel. I'm sorry, you barely has 2 bars. But with that in mind, yeah, you can see Kawano kind of reluctant to try to go for a burnout.
Bring his bar back a little bit more, so OD Fireball have the threat of it too as well. Versus the drive gauge behind it will definitely hurt. Glass cannon. In close, walk up throw. A lot to come back with. You have level 2 behind you. Here, Lashar. Stole one of the delay, but the crouching medium punch is able to hit. Knock down the throw.
No way! Not gonna kill. Oh, this is huge. Fall behind the fireball. Chipping away as well. You could level 2 if you wanted to set up.
Dash up, up low. Finds a stand medium in a level 3 for the victory. No! What? Oh my god, with a fireball follow-up from Kawano. The routing wasn't correct. Kawano's able to pick it up from what just happened.
中足、中アッパーになっちゃってましたよね。おそらく中足 SS にミスだと思いますね。はい。波動コマンド他にないんで。
Dude, Kawano was laughing so hard he hurt his rib. Did you see that?
感じがします。中足ブリッツだった
He
ら
pulled
簡単
something.
なんですけど。
Relax, brother. Whoa, my god.
どこかで単発 SA 確
In
認をしていく。
literally the sequence prior,
しがみジャックキックか。
the shark could have had, he had
ジャ
GGs.
ックキックでしたかね。
He could have done a sequence into level 3 while he was in critical art, drain out the drive gauge. Akuma had 0 bars. He would have had the life lead. He would have been able to follow up with a fireball and lead into a drive impact, a guaranteed drive impact into the corner. I don't know, man. That was, unless I'm crazy. I'm almost certain if Lashar in 2 sequences ago confirmed into a level 3 or even level 2, whatever, I think he could have won. Like, granted, he did get a confirm afterwards and then drop the level 3, but like that's just unfortunate. But correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I'm almost certain Lashar could have had a sequence to get a level 3 going prior to that.
I feel like that could have worked too. Lower health on Akuma, nice little jump in. Even staying at the level 2 full screen, like just to lock him down, and then chip out from there, and then go into like a combo right after. I feel like that would have worked, right? You have level 1 also in the string, so like oh, that is not good, bro.
Like throwing that in there as well. Yeah, you could have had so much control with your level 2. You follow it up and take away the options of being able to jump out, etc. That is crazy, man. I actually cannot believe it, but you know, it is what it is. It is definitely what it is. I'm surprised. Good 8 squad getting the rest of that match. It's tied again. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I didn't expect it to be that way, but I need my Samurai energy game to get up because my energy levels are through the roof, but I wanted to kind of like stabilize perhaps. But, you know, I gotta say, this has been ecstatic.
That's fantastic. I hope we get one of these when we go out to Capcom Cup, but wow, I can't get over that. It's one of those like in the clutch moments of trying to finish the job, your brain is so much pressure again, you know, being out the league. I see the impact that hit Lashar. I'm hoping it doesn't impact him for the rest of Street Fighter League out here for these finals. Like, you got to keep your head on your shoulders. You still have way more games to play, 40 to 40 at this point. So maybe you need to get some of the Samurai energy drink and get some pep in your step, because you still got way more to go. 40 to 40 means that we're still playing a 50 at this point on both sides, and it's just even. It's just these first twos are won by one side, and then the anchor position goes to the other side. Something has to change. I think with the energy levels or whatever, maybe it changes from there, character selection. But I feel like for one of these sides, they got to be like, okay, one of us got to pick it up and like clean sweep or hyper focus on certain things or certain matches even more so, because we can't keep going blow to blow, band to band at this point.
I like it, man. Keep the drama for like the end of the matches. I am a fan and I am a sucker for that. I am definitely around that camp to do that too. Somebody needs to help our desk correspondent out. There we go. Aru, man, Aru knows how to sell the hell out of that. Can I just say that was? Did you see? Okay, I'm gonna reenact it. My man took the sip.
Okay.
He went back, closed his eyes, and went. My man fully sold that. But to be fair, it does taste good. I had the opportunity to try it. This guy, Aru, professional. That was mad professional. Took a long withstanding sip and went, as if it weren't wintertime right now in Japan. My man was like, I'm back on the beach, baby. I'm feeling refreshed and energized. That was clean. What a beast.
I'll buy 2, 3 cases, actually. You are, damn, that was how to sell it. But, then we pick up some for Capcom Cup. And I'm kind of with you. I want to see more matches, but I think the teams recognize how close things are getting. I feel like that's got to be stressful, right? Like, this is going back and forth a little bit too much. At some point, someone's going to have to take a big lead. Will be character to character, will be player to player. I'm wondering what the strategy will be upcoming at this point. The Kawano pick wasn't a bad pick. It went down to the wire, but oh man,
I mean, he got the
I don't know
W,
where it's
so
gonna go, bro.
I don't think it was a. I mean, like, so it was a very, very shaky match, right? That easily could have been Lashar's towards the end, but we can't take away from the fact that Kawano kept it mad close, right? He got the first game, caused Lashar to bleed a little bit. I think it's the first time in the last couple of weeks because Lashar has been undefeated going into this from the playoff performance. Kawano causing 2 games, a big disruptor for Lashar and his mental, and now even more so with a big shocker heard around the world from him dropping that level 3 and then dropping further sequences. That is catastrophic in the mental of Lashar, and only one person was able to do that right now. It happened to be Kawano. So in hindsight, good 8 squad. They had a good choice amongst them too. Again, I'm very curious to see how that's going to be playing out. Good 8 squad now being on the away side. I'm very eager to see what the choices have been made, or what choices are going to be made, excuse me, going forward.
Go on, surprise me. Put up the sim. Go on, do it. Show me something different as we've seen throughout the league. Who knows what's going to happen to occur? Again, Shotzi's beautiful controllers. Just the artwork on them is beautiful. The multiple button placements. I gotta try these out. Hopefully they have them at Capcom Cup. I hope they have them to play, and or maybe someone has one I can kind of test out. I like to see how they feel. All right, come on, Aru. Sell me something else.
It is already kind of like travel size too. I know that the company has like travel size bags that accompany with that are accompanied with the purchase of every peripheral too. The playmat's pretty important. I'm also a sucker for that. I really dislike when I'm playing and the stick kind of like moves around my lap. I think that was like one of the biggest things that like deterred me from like buying certain peripherals back in the day. But having that rubber mat on the bottom for it to kind of like get that grip and get that attention too on your lap is really important in my opinion. But this looks really neat, right? With the addition, just the sole fact that there are 2 additional buttons for you to map out is pretty critical for a lot of the games that are out there right now.
Impact, drive rush, things like that, depending on how you want to play. As you mentioned for the other games too as well, even for maybe the older games. Maybe some, maybe like you put throw on there or something. I'm not sure what you want to do, but you have that variance on there. So I definitely want to try them out. I am so curious. They look, they're of quality. So, and again, I have to figure out how to get you on these mats, bro. This artwork is insane.
Please. I need it, genuinely. Like, I already have the shirt to match it. All I need now is the playmat to rock it, because that is easily one of the coolest things. It's the watch party, right? Like, these guys are watching CPT, these guys are watching Street Fighter League Japan. It's the entire cast. The only one not invited is Aki in the window. I think that's funny as heck. I think that's like one of the funnier things to come out. And dude, the fact that Akuma has like the letter S on his arm because he's rooting for Division S is actually pretty sick. I didn't even know Akuma was back there. We've never seen the entire artwork before until now. I never knew Akuma was right there.
You're
この
right.
ストリー
It
ト
gets cut off like right where the
ファイター
bison's at usually.
ストリートファイ
Seeing
ター
Akuma on there is
Yeah.
even sicker. That's super dope that they put all the characters in there.
す
ごいね
I'm like, hopefully they get like a new addition for like next Street Fighter League if we have it, to have like multiple characters that we've had for the DLC, for maybe Elena if she comes out at that point too as well. That'd be really cool. I'm already looking much in the future. I haven't even had this merch right here at all. I want it. Maybe I'll get it at Capcom Cup coming up in March, beginning of March right there. The 5th all the way to the 9th is going to be damn near almost an entire week of action. $1 million is on the line alongside the World Championship 2024 will be on the last day of Capcom Cup play. So swing over for all of it, honestly. See it all. Be there for the entire thing.
I would hope you guys do, because this is like the culmination of everybody's hard work. It's what everybody is looking forward to. This is genuinely the time where we finally say the millionaire match is upon us, right? Being able to take that legacy line, that historic and classic line from CES2, millionaire fighting is really a dream. It's actually come true now at Capcom Cup 11. That's one of the lines I've been looking forward to saying over at Capcom Cup, and I can't wait for it. You guys, I'm sure, have been waiting ever so patiently as well. That's going to be coming up real soon. Again, March 5th through the 9th with the Street Fighter League World Championships happening at the very end. You know how Japan gets down in regards to team tournaments, so it's going to be quite the spectacle. So we anticipate every one of you guys coming through to support and hang out with the rest of us too, in the chat, in the streams, etc., what have you. You gotta reward yourself for a year-long worth of watches. Like, you've been tuning into how many events thus far? It's been crazy. Oh, this is also really cool for the folks that are joining in, that happen to go to Capcom Cup. There, if you guys are actually attending, you get a special code that gives you access to a special color exclusive to those attendees, and it's each character is going to be getting this exact color scheme. So even more incentive for those joining in.
I want this one. Playing a little bit of Ken recently after seeing how much people don't like the character. So I've been dabbling with him a little bit. I'd like to leave Capcom Cup with that color. So if you plan to go out there, you're going to be well rewarded, not only with seeing some of the best action you ever asked for, but also cool things like this. So sign up, get those tickets ASAP, people. Do not want to miss what's out there. We're going to get all of the leagues sorted out soon. We already have EU sorted out. Soon will be the US, as they had to move things through the Fire Sticks for Capcom for doing that. And hopefully everybody is sound and safe and able to rebuild from that point. We're going to be getting that the next week, but I guess it kind of depends on when you view this at home. If you view this a little bit later, maybe it's already happened. Regardless, today we'll be crowning a champion for Japan, and we'll have all of that come down on Sunday in the final day for the World Championship for Street Fighter League. And before all that will be the group stages to the finale for the singles play. A lot to consider for Capcom Cup. I've never been to Japan. My first time out there. I'll be out there for a week. So I can't wait to hang out with all of you. You Vicious too as well. And just see what it do out there. I mean, Capcom Cup in Japan just sounds like an absolute dream to be a part of. I can't wait to see the venue and see all the sick stuff. And get this merch right here. There's a pillow. Nah, son. I need two suitcases. 2 empty suitcases. Come on now. There's a Kuma on that. I need it. I need it.
Yeah. Pretty neat. Going up against Bison as well. I like that. The glow coming from, man, the glow tracing from Akuma's eyes, and the fact that we got pockets like that. Hell yeah. And it's stitched on? Hell yeah. That is sick. That is actually super sick. Capcom Cup 11, the merch has evolved. I want to see if it's reversible, low-key. But man, my man Hameko is stretching that bad boy out. I appreciate that. Let me know what the quality is like, Playboy. That's what I'm talking about. The pillow, though, yo, I've been knocked out enough by Akuma players on ranked. I might as well get the pillow to, you know, to actually keep it true, right? In and out of the game. That is a giant pillow for scale, by the way.
It's a huge pillow. It's like almost half a
my man
human
is
size right
squeezing.
there. Feels like soft. Not like a Kuma though. What's the back look like? Just pure black? That's fine. That looks fancy.
Bro,
Exotic.
I hope I have room for that in my bag. I'm kind of scared, low-key.
It's time to make room, brother. It's time to make room.
この後をですね、
Another
休
backpack, I
憩を
guess.
挟んで
Man,
30
the
分の模
merch
様をお届け
this
して
year
まいり
is
ますので、
insane.
今しばらくお待ちください。 背中で語る姿、やはりすごいですよね。ディビジョンエース代表、グッドエイトスクワットの入場でした。
1位タイ並んだのがこの時の
ヨギーボーリジェクトの入場でした。グランドファイナル、カード5期対するは時の剣、いってみましょう。
お願いしますフリットランスではありますが体力が少ない。
中心、
うわうまいサビトンも見事です。対策対策
アッパーを潰して川のダメージを伸ばしていく。ポイントに当たっている。若干下がっていた。
S2 がある。
川にはリソースある。砲天効果ある。砲天効果これでフィニッシュ。アキラの体力は気づけば今後減っている。塚地君が走りきれないか、切っている。お見事。勝つことができるこのバウンド状況。着地を取っている。着地を取っている。中堅戦はガーチ君の勝利。危ないぞ。下からのシャレ。うわ遠い。シエラの最後チェンバーサードだ。すでに3つずつ両者持っている。深かったか、見逃さないでじゃあ。2勝目からも削りもある。展開重視差し返し、展開重視差し返し、展開重視差し返し、お見事列車。展開重視差し返し。さあ原田さん、
はい、
これが2巡目先鋒戦、アキラキャミ対するはプゲラ DJ。 またもやアキラがうまく体力リードを作っている。ここでジャクからつないでいった。ジョースクールからの2巡目先鋒戦、みんなが見たかったこの対決、どのようなドラマが紡がれるのか。
高近のゲージもたまにそうですね。
2つ目も受け入れられない。ここは投げ切った。
何かするか。
高地君には CA がある。打ってた。受けた。どうだ。またいる。
受けれんのかい。しかも CA です。ダメージが高い。
結構一滴。さあどうだ。この一撃届いた。残りそうですね。一度のドライブゲージは相当ある。圧倒的優勢。覆せるかガチ君、最後は千代。覆せるかガチ君、最後は千代。お尻構えて
大ファイなんだって。
そこから出てきた。本当これは届いている。まだ隙間で静寂を破って突き出した拳が
顔を回しながらカウンターで。
うわー、横から貫いてきた。列車
話もありえます。
打ってきた。さあどうだ。
警戒している。
お見通し、警戒していた。
先に回復したのはチャーです。
ガッツガーしてる。ガッツガー打ってきた。
ちょっと10なってる。ああ、うわーなってる。ああ、うわー打ってきた。ちょっと10なってる。ああ、うわー
勝ったのはカード。
ああ、うわ
勝ったのはカード。極限状態。ありえないことが起き続けたが。
Yeah, come on, everybody come alive.